The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
To quote our guest coming on the show, oh, the pain.
Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. The day after the latest Jet debacle. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show. Big thank you to everyone who stayed up late last night to watch our post-game show. Reminder, win or lose, we're going to be watching Jets Steelers together coming up on Sunday Night Football. Party starts at 7 at T-Squared Social. Kickoff after 8 for all the Met fans out there. We will have the Mets Game 6 of the NLCS on multiple TV screens at T-Squared Social. So if you want to join us and commiserate watching the Jets all together, make sure you RSVP with the link in the description. Joining us right now in his weekly spot is the great Joe Benigno. Joe, oh, the pain.
Well, let me start with this, bro. Let me start with this, Jake. And as you said, even the Yankee win last night couldn't temper the disaster of the Jets. And I echo that as a Met fan. Even the Met win yesterday could not take away the absolute disgrace that we watched last night. And I've said, I want to start with this. What I've said for years about this franchise. And again, last night we saw it again. You can change the owner. You can change the quarterback. You can change the players. You can change the coaches, the GM. You can change the stadium. You can change the practice facility. You can change the uniforms. You can change everything about this franchise, and the results never change. And I want one more thing I want to say too, because this needs to be said. You know, Roger Goodell, who's the worst commissioner in pro sports today, okay? He's an absolute disgrace. He could care less about the fans, and he could care less about the players. The officiating in this league, what we saw last night with penalty, and this is for both teams. I'm not just saying the Jets. Penalty after penalty after penalty is a freaking disgrace. Bogus roughing the passer calls on both teams, bogus pass interference calls, bogus holding penalties. You know, at some point, when is this commissioner going to figure out that nobody is paying big money or putting the freaking game on to watch these incompetent officials throw freaking flag after freaking flag? What a goddamn disgrace. And even Rodgers, after the game, said he even called out the officials. He even said that there was a roughing the passer that we got called that wasn't. And he talked about one against Allen that wasn't. I mean, you got to be kidding. The officiating, that's not why they lost this game. I'm not saying that. But the officials, and something has to be done about the officiating in this league. What was there, 22 penalties total in this game last night?
22 accepted penalties, over 200 yards between each team. It's just, it never ended. It was an unwatchable game. And even the few plays the Jets made, Joe, every time they'd make a play, you're just waiting for the flag to be on the field. You couldn't even enjoy it.
Right. So absolutely terrible. I mean, and like you said, here's a game where Rodgers plays really well. Okay, you can't say he didn't play well. They get the Hail Mary before halftime. You know, we all kill Alan Lazard. He's catching everything. He caught the Hail Mary. He caught that other pass for a first down kind of between his legs with a guy hanging on him. You know, he's got a big game. Garrett Wilson is over 100 yards. He catches a touchdown. He did drop one in the end zone that Rodgers put right in there. I know he got belted, but can you hold on to the freaking ball, right? Brees runs for over 100 yards, although that one that should have been a touchdown when he zigged instead of zagged, he gets stopped on a 3-yard line. And, of course, we don't score there. Tyron Smith, you know, unbelievable. We can't put it in the end zone from 3 yards out. Tyron Smith, who was brutal last night, he's got the holding penalty on the touchdown by Braylon Allen. That was a walk-in touchdown, and this guy gets a holding penalty. And then the play with Ebenezer, where he walks around freaking Smith like a statue and just assaults Aaron Rodgers. How many more big hits can this quarterback take, bro? There was one later on in the game. I thought he was woozy. I'm surprised he stayed in the game. All right? He's getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, Tyron Smith stunk yesterday. There was another play where he's blocking for Breece Hall, and he doesn't get out in front of the guy. I mean, just we could go on and on. And let's not forget this, too. Okay? It's time to address this. What the hell has happened to this freaking kicker? Because he now has cost us 2 games, Jake. He cost us the Bronco game when he missed a 50-yard field goal at the gun, and he cost us the game yesterday. 32-yard field goal he can't make. 42-yard field goal he can't make. It's time to bring another guy in here, okay? And I don't need to hear Jeff Ulbrich after the game say, well, I'm not worried about him. You're not? He's missed 4 field goals already this year. I'd be freaking worried about him. So that's another thing about this game last night. And the defense stinks. I mean, come on. I am so tired of hearing about this defense. They can't stop the run. It's absolutely disgraceful. Jake, can they recover a fumble? How about that? The ball's on the ground. And there's Quincy Williams. I mean, he's got his hands on the goddamn ball. Can he recover it? Oh, my. And in the next play, Allen gets away from this stiff Kinlaw. Boy, does he stink. Gets away from him and then throws that touchdown in the end zone on the next freaking play because they don't come up with the goddamn fumble. I'll tell you, bro, I'm like, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm so ticked off today. I was so happy with my baseball team. I'm sure you were happy with your team last night. And then, to just get kicked in the ass like we did with this team. This team should be at worst right now, 4-2. They've lost 3 games in a row, and every one of them was a winnable game. It's just disgraceful watching this football team right now. I don't know what else to say. I really don't.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Joe, for the second week in a row, major Jet news breaks as you're on the show. Last week at this time, Robert Saleh was fired.
Now what? What happened now?
The New York Jets have just traded for Davante Adams. The Raiders are completing a trade of Adams to the Jets. According to multiple reports, it is a conditional 3rd-round pick.
Wow.
That could be up to a 2nd rounder. I'm seeing a conditional 4th or a 3rd. But either way, this is a done deal. So they wait till after they lose this game to drop the 2-4. But they do get Adams, which obviously sends the message that they're still going for it, of course. But, at 2-4, they're facing basically a virtual must-win now against the Steelers to avoid going 2-5 and set themselves up to get to 3-4 with the Patriots after that. But it is official. Davante's a Jet. Your thoughts, Joe?
Well, I mean, I'm happy about it, but I mean, it just, it's kind of hollow right now because, I look at this team. The problem to me really is not on the offense. I mean, the offense played well. I know they weren't good for a couple weeks in a row, but you saw last night, they moved the ball up and down the field. I mean, let's be honest. The penalties killed them, obviously. Those 2, like I said, the 2 big holding penalties on Smith on the touchdown, on Tippmann on the last drive of the game where Breece is inside the 40-yard line for a 1st down. Last drive of the game. He hits Breece out of the backfield. He gets inside the 40-yard line, and Tippmann gets a goddamn holding penalty. I mean, so, yeah. But I think the defense, bro, they can't stop the run. This defensive line is terrible. Where's Quinnen Williams in this game? Where was Quincy Williams in this game? C.J. Mosley looks like he's done. He played a little bit, and then he was gone. What do you call DJ Reed went out of the game with an injury. I mean, right now I'm thrilled about Davante Adams, but the problems run a lot deeper than that. I mean, let's be honest. Even though we're happy he finally got this guy, and we'll see what he brings to the table, but you're beside yourself right now. So that's a great news to hear they got him, but it doesn't take the sting away from the disgrace that they are right now.
Ultimately, we'll see what the conditions are in the trade, but this wasn't this king's ransom type of deal that people speculated. So I'm obviously fine with it. It's tough to truly enjoy it, knowing this team has just so much talent to be 2-4. I mean, Joe, they've lost now a combined 3 in a row by a total of 10 points.
Yeah,
and you go back and you watch this last night. Mike Williams slipping with a chance to make a huge play at the end there. It's just. Breece Hall 1-on-1 can't beat one guy to score a touchdown there. As great as Garrett was last night, he had a chance to make a touch. It's just like these are the little things that are just costing them. And obviously, not having a kicker, it's fitting. Greg Zuerlein can't miss for 2 years when this team's not any good, so they steal wins the last 2 years.
Right.
Now they're good, and he can't hit anything. I mean, it's just it's brutal. Everything is still in front of them, but it's like it's tough to have any confidence in this team finding a way to learn how to win these games late because they can't do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, what else could you say? But you can't. But bro, you can't continue to make the mistakes that they make and expect to win. You just can't.
Nope.
I mean, the penalties are just beyond. I mean, well, you can't. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, how many pass interference calls? Right. The two holding penalties were the killers. The two big holding penalties on Tyron Smith on the Braylon Allen touchdown and on the last drive of the game by Tippmann on that play where Brees gets a first down and the Jets got a first down inside the Buffalo 40-yard line. Those, to me, were the two killer penalties of the night. They really were. And you just can't have it anymore. And it just continues to happen, bro. It just continues. We watch this same goddamn movie all the time. Like I said, nothing ever changes. You change whatever you want with this franchise, but the results never change. It's beyond frustrating.
And like Tyron Smith, for example, guy was second team All-Pro last year. And no one's saying he's got to remain, the best left tackle in the league. But how does he come here and then all of a sudden he looks washed? He looks like a shot player. It doesn't make any sense how he comes here and then he's not even close to what he was. I thought the concern with him would be he wouldn't be on the field. Well, you know what? Maybe he needs to practice on Wednesdays and Thursdays because he looks terrible right now.
Well, I watched, bro. He was one of the big reasons they lost this game last night.
Yep.
And after I was watching a post game show on SNY afterwards with Bart Scott, Willie Colon, all those guys. Maybe you got to sit him. Maybe Fasano's got to play left tackle this week. I think that's something you got to consider. Morgan Moses was back, and not that he played great either, because nobody did on the offensive line. But maybe it's time now to sit Smith and put the kid at left tackle, and let's see. Why not? Can it hurt? Can it hurt? I think I would make that move this week. I think I'd put Fasano at left tackle and sit Tyron Smith. I really would.
It's just brutal. And, there's people I'm seeing killing Aaron Rodgers this morning. I'm like, did you watch the same game? I mean, this guy's taking a beating, giving this team every chance to win.
You can't kill Rodgers for this game. You could say whatever maybe you don't like him. You want to blame him for whatever you want to blame him for. You want to blame him for the coach being fired. I'm sure he was involved in that, no matter what's said publicly. But you cannot blame. He played bad last night. Come on. What do you want from him? He puts, like I said, how about the pass he put in Garrett Wilson's hands in the end zone and he got nailed and he didn't hold on to it. There was another one later on that he hit Ruckert over the middle and the guy jumped on him and knocked the ball out. He didn't hold on to the ball. I mean, you got to make these plays. You got to make them. He's not the guy with, Rodgers isn't committing holding penalties. Rodgers isn't committing pass interference penalties. Rodgers isn't committing roughing the passer penalties. Come on. What do you want from the guy? He's not playing defense to not stop the run. So, and he's not the kicker that missed two freaking very makeable kicks. So it's hard to see how you can blame Rodgers for this game last night. I'm sorry.
Deals for a third-round pick that could become a second. It starts from a 3, not a 4. Is the latest report.
Sunday? Will he be ready to go?
He better. I know it's a short week, but you know what? I mean, he'll run the right route, unlike Mike Williams at the end there.
Right.
It's just. Wow.
Mike Williams, that'll be the end of Mike Williams. You'll have 3 receivers. You'll have Adams, Wilson, and what do you call the guy? Why is his name? I'm losing his name now, but you know what I'm talking about. Number 10.
Yeah,
had a big game last night, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Look, it will be Davante, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard. Yeah, it's just
Lazard. Right, Lazard, and I'm telling you, I'm so whacked out. Lazard, Adams, and Wilson. Those would be the 3 receivers. Mike Williams, you can get rid of him now.
Unreal. So I'm glad they got him, Joe. I just wish they had him in the lineup last night. And like how many more wins would this team have if they maybe had Davante in the lineup? So it's just it's tough. We're talking with Joe Benigno in his weekly spot here on the show as we continue to react to the news of Davante Adams. Okay, Joe.
We got Davante Adams, so that's why he's calling.
God.
Yeah, great. He'll be better play against Pittsburgh. So
he has to play. I mean, Joe, this is a must-win now because you can't fall to 2-5. Yeah, this is people are going to say the season's over after last night. At 2-4, it's not. At 2-5, it might be. Like this is everything this week coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I can you possibly feel confident that you're going to go into Pittsburgh and play at 4-2 Steelers? I mean, can you see T.J. Watt and Cameron Haywood and these guys just just assaulting Rodgers in this game? I'm telling you, I would sit Smith and I'd play Fasano at left tackle. Why not? Let's see. I really would.
Jets are taking on the full contract for Davante Adams here. So
they're taking on a full contract. They're trading a conditional third that could be a 2. I guess if he plays what is it? If he plays every game the rest of the way, is that the deal?
I keep checking to see if we have what the conditions are here. I wonder if it's, if they make the playoffs, it becomes a second-round pick or something like that, which in the AFC, that's the only thing that's keeping the Jets alive right now. The conference is not great. We're talking about probably a 9-win team being a wild card team this year.
Yeah, it could be. Yep.
Oh, just crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking with Joe B. If you guys have a question or a comment you want Joe to react to, write it in. Reminder, of course, we're going to be hopefully watching Davante Adams and this Jets offense all together at T-Squared Social this Sunday night. So come on down. Free RSVP in the link to the description if you want to come to our upcoming watch party. All right, Davante is a Jet. We are waiting to see the specifics here for the memes with a super chat. If you think Rodgers is here for 2 years, this is a fantastic move. Receiver room is nasty. Can focus elsewhere next year. We could still win games now. Well, the thing with Adams, Joe, he's got no guaranteed money beyond this year, so I do wonder if they're going to redo his contract in season here, so you know that he's locked in for the remainder of this year and then next year with this Rodgers window.
Look, I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, everything is getting blown up here. And I wonder if Rodgers is coming back. I wonder.
Also, some other Jet news, Joe. The Jets have given Hassan Reddick permission for his new agents, to seek a trade. So I do wonder if maybe part of this deal with Davante is they're now going to trade Reddick and flip him for something to kind of even up the draft pick and the money that's coming in.
Well, look, this was another big mistake by Joe Douglas. Let's be honest. Joe Douglas made a lot of big mistakes this year in the offseason. He should have never made the Reddick move. They should have re-signed Bryce Huff. They should have never traded John Franklin Myers. And it's all coming back to kick him in the ass now.
How about $7 million for Javon Kinlaw to have 3 penalties on a huge drive in this game last night?
Kinlaw, there's a reason the 49ers got rid of him, because he stinks. He's terrible.
Mr. Downtown, can Davante give us the Braylon Edwards effect? Well, that'd be nice. I mean, when the Jets got Braylon Edwards, though, I think they were 3-0 that year in 2009.
Well, look, Braylon Edwards was a very good Jet. There's no doubt about it. Davante Adams is a better player, but let's see, man. This team's got to win a game, man. And let's go. Look, they're in free fall right now. Let's make no mistake about it. The season is on the brink, and they got a very tough game coming up against Pittsburgh. You can't have a tougher game. I'm happy. Thank God the Steelers won, because I'd rather be playing them coming off a win. They beat the Raiders, but you're gonna have another quarterback that can run in Justin Fields. You got this guy that the running back Harris, who's a good runner, as well. The Steelers are going to run the ball down their throat. And the defensive line, right now, I'm looking at that offensive line. I'm nervous about it. I mean, like I said, T.J. Watt, Cameron Haywood, come on. Got to be worried about it. Do you really see them winning this game? I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't.
The problem with this game is they go into it with such a huge coaching disadvantage now. I mean, we're talking about Mike Tomlin versus an interim head coach here. That's the problem.
Yes. Big disadvantage. No question about it.
Purple Belt Mike writes in, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yeah. Well, we're never out, bro. We're never out.
That's the problem. This organization does not deserve how amazing this fan base is. It's insane.
I feel for the people. I mean, it was brutal out there last night. I mean, I talked to Iron Staten Island. He was at the game last night. He said he felt like it was 15 degrees out.
Yeah.
With the wind, it was only like in the 40s in this game last night. And you're sitting out there freezing your ass off, watching this garbage football, watching these officials throw flag after flag after flag to just prolong the agony. It's unbelievable. I mean, how much more can our fan base take? I mean, really, it's incredible.
They should be 4-2 at the bare minimum, 3-3.
Minimum 4-2. If the kicker can make a kick, they're 4-2.
It's agonizing, because we've seen bad Jet teams before, and I'm convinced this team is not bad. They just find new ways to lose, but this team has too much talent to be 2-4. That's what's just disgusting when you wake up and look at this team.
But it's the Jets.
Exactly. That and even Aaron Rodgers playing as well as he did last night can't overcome the fact that it's the Jets, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, welcome you. The Jet karma is now engulfing Aaron Rodgers. And I got to tell you this. I may, okay. Now, I said I would not don the Aaron Rodgers jersey until we made the playoffs. But considering that we are teetering on the brink now, I am seriously considering putting it. There you go. I am seriously considering putting it on for the Steeler game.
Wow.
To try to change the karma. Because how much worse can it get, bro?
No, this is look. You make the move for Davante Adams at 2-4. You then can't lose and be 2-5 and have a season. So this is the season on Sunday Night Football. This is
right.
It.
Yep. I'm with you.
King Lowski says this move doesn't make me feel better. Get this bleep team together. We appreciate you, Joe B. JETS Jets, baby. Must win Sunday night. I mean,
I'm with you.
25 says, thank God for this. I'm so over Mike Williams. At least we have a little bit of light at the end of the dark tunnel. I mean, Davante obviously helps, but we have seen this team find new ways to lose because they just fundamentally destroy themselves. I mean, last night, 1 for 4 in the red zone. Rodgers made the comment after the game. We should have had 30-plus points. He's right.
No question. By the way, that the light at the end of the tunnel with our team is probably the oncoming train. So just keep that in mind.
Adam says, would you do a first and Reddick for Crosby? They're not trading Max Crosby.
No, come on. What are you, delirious? Max Crosby is one of the best pass rushers in the league. I mean, you think the Raiders get rid of him? I don't see that.
Mr. Reality goes, Joe, when will Sauce get an interception and a true wide receiver one makes that cat? So he's going after Sauce and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Wilson should have caught the ball. I mean, I thought he had a good game last night, but he should have caught it. And Sauce is overrated. I mean, let's stop already. To me, DJ Reed's a better player. And he got hurt last night. He got hurt. And he got 2 bogus pass interference calls against him as well.
As usual. It's crazy.
By the way.
Storyline, Tyron came out looking like RoboCop. He's got to be injured. Allen, Dak, or Jackson, no Super Bowls. Great teams need to be polished. I overrated this team. I mean, look, but the whole premise, this is what's so annoying, Joe. The whole premise of the season was you have the elite defense, you have an elite special teams unit. Rodgers wouldn't be asked to do everything. Just play competently, take care of the ball, and they're going to win games. And, the thing about the special teams was Greg Zuerlein couldn't miss for 2 years, and now he single-handedly cost them at least 2 wins here. So it changes everything. They could be 4-2 right now with a kicker.
It's unbelievable. Now, really, you're right. I mean, Zuerlein was money. Our kicking game was, probably the best part of the team last year with Morstead. And now this guy can't make a kick. He's missed 4 big kicks, and he's cost us 2 games. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Neil, who is as long of a Jet fan as anyone, Joe, he's being optimistic here. Joe, tell the chat how amazing 68 and 69 was. They are disgusted. We need Reddick more than Davante at this point with poor edge play. I see us running the table with Davante. I'd rather be the Jets than Pittsburgh. Think about it.
You're crazy. If you'd rather be the Jets than the Steelers, who are probably the best organization in pro football in the last, probably since Chuck Noll in 1970, when his first year when he was head coach there, you're delirious. They've had 3 head coaches since then. Everyone, since 1973, we get 3 like every 2 years. Every one of them has won a Super Bowl. Every one of them has been to multiple Super Bowls. No, we wish we were the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who's kidding who?
RB says, what do you want back for Reddick?
You could give me an inflated football. That's how I feel about him. All right.
Amen. Michael writes, Joe, who cursed us? Come on, who was it?
Well, you know what the rumor has always been that name it sold his soul to the devil for us to win that Super Bowl. Now this 56 years ago, whatever the hell it is. So maybe that's what it is. But you do feel like we're a cursed franchise. There's no doubt about it.
Curly writes in, Clemens and Watts playing bulk of the snaps is pathetic. I'll tell you what's pathetic, Curly.
How bad
is Michael Clemens?
I don't even know who this guy Watts is. And how bad is Michael Clemens?
Oh, my God. Joe, did everyone in the building, everyone watching, not know Josh Allen was going to run on the last play there?
Right.
And Michael Clemens is a moron. He's taking the bait. He's not setting the edge, and of course.
Michael Clemens stinks. Let's tell it like it is. Like I said, what is the line? Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. That pretty much tells the story of Michael Clemens.
Mike D's nuts says, nice move, but I'm numb. Look, I get every Jet fan feeling that way. It's like, yeah, you got Davante, great. This seems 2-4. You have no faith in where they're headed right now. They got to win Sunday.
No.
You win Sunday, and then you could start to picture. All right, you play New England after that. There's a path back to 500, but they have to win Sunday in Pittsburgh, which is obviously going to be a Herculean task.
Yeah. I believe they won once, if I can remember, in Pittsburgh And that was back in the 2010 season when they were 11-5. And, of course, that season ended with them losing in Pittsburgh. So I believe that's the only time they've won there. Maybe one other one.
Zach Wilson in 2022, his first game back from the injury when they were down 10 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, right. That's right. That's right. So that's 2. Great.
Daniel says, Joe B, change the karma. Wear the jersey. Let's go.
Yeah, I might. I'm seriously considering it. I have to say. I mean, can it be any worse?
No.
Of course. If I put it on and Rodgers goes down with an injury for the rest of the year, then I don't know. That's my big concern about it. Is that if I put this damn jersey on, he's gonna get hurt again and be done for the year. That's my big concern about putting the jersey on. But I am considering going for the karma change. Yes, I had Garrett Wilson on yesterday. It didn't work.
Cheeseman says Sauce bought into his own hype, and it shows. I mean, he's had opportunities to have interceptions this year, and he's dropped it. That's what it really comes down to. His coverage has been fine. It's like, but when the ball hits you in the hands, you got to make a play. Last night, I don't think he got thrown on once, though.
No, I don't think they threw the ball his way at all. But he did miss some tackles. He did get run over a couple times.
Well, they ran the first play of the game. You could see they clearly designed the play to run right at him because they know he's not a good tackler.
Right. Yep. Darrelle Revis, he's not.
Nope.
Right? Let me tell you right now, Sauce Gardner's not a pimple on Darrelle Revis's ass, okay? Not a pimple.
Uno writes in, I never missed a down in 45 years and never ends. Sometimes it looks like the NFL's fixed. Flags all over the place.
Well, the officiating's got to change. I mean, if Roger Goodell, like I said, this guy, all he's worried about is how am I going to make more money? Let me see. Maybe where can we play next? Can we play maybe Beijing? Maybe they'll let us play there. I don't know. That's all that Roger Goodell gives a damn about. You don't care about the players. This idea about player safety is nonsense. By the way, this kickoff rule's got to change. I mean, come on. That's another thing. Change the goddamn kickoff rule. And the idea that you can only do an onside kick and you got to tell the other team you're doing an onside kick is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard of. I mean, who's kidding who here? Okay? But the officials can throw flag after flag after flag. Even Buck and Aikman were getting tired of the goddamn officials throwing flag after flag last night. It was complete crap in this game last night.
More on the Davante news. He is in the building already. So they knew this was going down. He is already in the building, according to multiple reports.
Is Rodgers hugging him, and what is he doing?
I'm sure Rodgers is like, thank God I wish you were here last night.
Rodgers, Adams, and Lazard, are they doing like a group hug or what?
They're gonna bring in Randall Cobb to be one of the receivers.
Oh yeah, let's bring him back. That works.
Jake in the box. LOL, you guys are big time in the Davante news. Let's go. Look, what do you want us to say? I'm glad they got him, but they're 2-4 right now. It's tough to be that excited when they play as bad as they did.
Like he's the savior that's going to change everything. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope he's great. Let's hope he does change a lot of things. But this team's got a lot more problems than bringing in a Davante Adams. Like I said, they need a kicker. You got to be really concerned about this kicker, and the defense. The defense, it can't stop the run. Anytime that Allen needed to make a big play, he did. Even the last play of the game, there it is. It's 3rd and 5. You stop him, you're getting the ball back with one last chance, and he basically, you think maybe that the play is going to be him running the ball, and he basically walks to the first down untouched.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
Terrell writes in, I should be excited, but I'm not. Adam doesn't fix the coaching or 100 penalties. I mean, he can help you try and outscore teams. I mean, if you had him against Denver, you probably score more than 9 points. If you had him in the Vikings game, Lazard probably doesn't have 4. Like, he does make them better. It's just tough to be that excited when you see the record's 2-4 right now.
Yeah, of course.
Sears writes in, I have a hot take that the Jets should consider blowing it up at the deadline. This is an all-in move for Tay. Changes that regardless. Let's go, Jets. Beat Pittsburgh and we could have a season. That's where this team is at right now.
Yeah. They're not blowing it up. Woody already made them. Look, the 2 moves that Woody could make, he's made. He got rid of the coach, and he brought in Adams. I don't know what's left now. I mean, there is no more moves, Wade. They got to go out there and now start winning freaking football games.
The move is blow up the franchise, which unfortunately you can't do.
Well, it's going to happen at the end of the year if they don't make the playoffs. I mean, and Douglas will be gone for sure. They'll all be gone. There'll be a whole
Douglas,
new coach.
What did you make of Woody saying this is the most talented team in 25 years, though? Because I do think that obviously bodes well for the GM and put the team together.
No. I mean, come on. The teams with Rex, 09 and 10 were very talented teams. If they had Rodgers, and all due respect to Sanchez, who doesn't get the credit he deserves, maybe if you had Rodgers at quarterback, who knows what would have happened. Those 2 teams were much more talented than this team is right now. And they won. That's it.
Well, the
And
thing is,
that's a good
too,
offensive line, right? That offensive line was pretty good. Their
100%.
defense was pretty good, you know?
100%. Well, the thing is, too, right? We talk about the talent on this team, and I think it's obviously a very good team. But, you know, part of this regime this offseason was, you know, you signed Tyron Smith. He has not been good. Mike Williams, these last 2 games has cost you. Kinlaw's been brutal. So 3 of these big free agent moves that we hyped up, they haven't worked.
Yep. None of them. And then you put on top of it the guys they lost. You know, the injury to Jermaine Johnson didn't help. And then you factor in the whole Reddick disaster, and it's just so typical of this franchise, bro. This is what we've seen forever.
NY Jets Florida writes in, Jets have to score 30 points a game to overcome the Jets' average defense.
Yeah. Well, I can't. The defense is not any good right now. I'm sorry. You know,
they got to score in the red zone. I mean, 1 for 4 in the red zone is brutal.
Of course, you got to score in the red zone. No question about it. You know, the Tyron Smith holding penalty was a killer. That was probably the biggest penalty of the night was that one. And like I said, the one on Tipman in the last drive. Those were the 2 biggest penalties of the night. Absolute killers.
What did you think of Downing's play calling? I thought all things considered, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. You know, they tried to get the ball. They got the ball to Brees. They actually were able to run the ball a little bit, not more than a little bit. They threw the ball to him out of the backfield. He made a couple big plays catching the ball out of the backfield. You know, like I said, Lazard had a terrific game. Wilson had a big game. You didn't get a lot out of the tight ends in this game. Rucker should have had that one that he didn't catch over the middle. You know, I thought the play calling was okay. You know, they did enough offensively. You know, if they would have put the ball in the end zone. The one time the play calling bothered me, after the play with Brees, when he didn't get in the end zone and he had a 1st and goal on the 3-yard line, I would have never tried to run the ball. I would have just thrown the ball 3 times there. 3 times. That's what I would have done.
Henny Heisman, can Tay play left tackle? Do we make this trade if we want? I think he was going to be a Jet either way. It's just at 2-4, it's not as impactful and exciting as if they were 3-3 in first place this morning.
Yeah. Well, who's Tay? Who am I missing here?
Davante Adams.
Oh, I see. Is that what we calling him? Tay?
Tay Adams. I'll call him whatever he wants if he helps his team start winning some games.
All right. I'm going to call him Davante. All right.
That works. Ray writes in, we need help in the run defense. Trade Asman for a big fat run stuffer. Let's go Jets. This idea that they're getting anything of significance for Asman Reddick, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. I don't think Dexter Lawrence is walking in the door to play tackle for us, you know?
By the way, Quinnen Williams. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about these double teams. I need you to
I'm with you, bro. I don't want to
make some plays. Dexter Lawrence has 6.5 sacks. Quinnen Williams has 1 sack all year, 2 sacks all year.
Quinnen, I'm tired of hearing about him. Him and his brother, and his brother's been good, but he stunk last night too. He didn't come up with that fumble. I don't think he made many tackles. He got beat on coverage a few times. I'm tired of hearing about how great Quinnen Williams is, right? To me, did he even play? It's like he's freaking invisible in this game last night.
V-Man writes in, the only way the Jets win on Sundays if the Steelers do their classic play down to competition shtick. Let's be real. That's the only way. Look, hey, you have Aaron Rodgers with Justin Fields. Like, in theory, that you should be able to go out there and find a way to win this game. The problem is you have no faith in this coaching staff putting a plan together to deal with TJ Watt, deal with the Steelers running the ball down your throat. Like, these are the concerns.
Yeah. I mean, look, they lose at the line of scrimmage all the time. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you watch the last 3 weeks. Every game that they played, they lost in the last 3 weeks, even though they could have won every one of them. They lost at the line of scrimmage. They can't stop the run, and they're not protecting the quarterback enough. I mean, he's getting hit far too much.
Super chats keep rolling in. We're talking with Joe Benigno in his weekly spot. Jet fans, the Jets do have Davante Adams. If you're one of the 2,400 people tuned in live right now, click that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And a reminder, this show is available in podcast form, wherever you get your podcast on either Apple or Spotify. And that's the same with Joe's podcast, Oh the Pain, which you can get wherever you get your podcast.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain, no doubt.
Thank God for the Mets.
Yeah, amen. By the way, you realize the Jets were the only team in New York sports to lose yesterday. Every local hockey team won. Obviously, the Mets won. The Yankees won.
Only the Rangers won. Nice game, but beat the Red Wings 4-1. The Yankees won. You know, the Yankees are playing. I mean, come on. Now, let's be honest. To all the Yankee fans out there, could you have an easy – if you don't get to the World Series, they should fire everybody. Everybody should be gone. You know, my team's playing Ohtani and all the, the Golden Boys in L.A., and you're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. I mean, come on.
Hey, Joe, is there any truth to the rumor?
You should sweep the freaking Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians.
I call them the I-words, Joe, the Cleveland I-words.
Well, they're the Indians. I mean, let's be honest.
Sure. A question for you. I did hear this rumor. Are you having Ohtani's interpreter on the next podcast?
I heard Ohtani actually has bet on the Mets in this series. Now I don't know if there's any Ohtani's interpreter. Of course, Ohtani is cleaner than than the day is long. You know what I mean? Come on, he's like clean sheets, Ohtani. You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't start. But I heard that the interpreter from jail. I think he's got $1 million on the Mets. I think he bet him on the money line.
Do you think we win yesterday's game if we had Adams, despite the penalties? Then it kind of does mask the issues until they get those results.
I don't think so. Look, maybe Adams makes a play at the end where Mike Williams didn't. Maybe. I'll say maybe. Because maybe on that last play, maybe he's throwing the ball to Davante, and maybe he doesn't slip and he actually comes up with it. So maybe.
Sharif says, need the money back for Taylor ham / egg and cheese. This referencing the breakfast sandwich that a Jet fan sent to Mike Williams to get him signed, sealed, and delivered. That's not aging well.
You sent him a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese?
Do you remember in the offseason when they sent?
I do remember that.
Yeah. NYJ Matt is the listener.
I hope he held on to the sandwich.
C writes in 2009, we went 2 games under 500, traded for a receiver and made the playoffs. It ain't over yet. I'm pretty sure they were not 2 under 500 when they added Braylon, but look, hey, you want some positivity? I'll give it to you. The Packers last year started 2-5. They made the playoffs. It's 2-4 is not a death sentence, but you got to start winning games. Like it's all on the line this week.
Yep.
Robert writes in, what do they do with Corley now?
He's not playing anyway. What's the difference? He's a rookie. He's not playing. Did he play? Was he even suited up last night? I don't even know.
No, he was inactive.
He's inactive. So he's a rookie. I'm not getting crazy about him.
Mike D's nuts. Joe B is a good luck charm for breaking news. How about back-to-back weeks, Joe? Salah fired 3 minutes into our show last week, and then 5 minutes into the show this week, Davante Adams becomes a Jet.
Yeah, no, it's good news. But let's see what happens. It should have happened already. Probably should have happened moments after Salah got fired last week, but we'll see. I'm not throwing a party yet. I'm happy about it, but let's see.
John B writes in, Joe, you're the best, bro. Longtime listener. All the love.
Thank you, John. All the love to you.
If you're watching live right now, click that like button, subscribe to the channel. Talking with Joe B in his weekly spot, the Yield the Pain podcast host, radio legend, joining us here on a day where the Jets have traded for Davante Adams after a brutal loss last night to the Buffalo Bills. So here's what we know. Adams in the building. Jets acquire him. He's got no guaranteed money beyond this year. So I'm already seeing stories about this team potentially redoing his deal. So should that break, we'll obviously keep you updated on that as the news continues to come in real time. JJ writes in, progress, a lot of positive from the game. Offense looked good. Just got to punch it in and clean up the penalties. We got Adams. Now get JJ bull bound 8-3. Can they beat Pittsburgh? If they beat Pittsburgh, there's a path back to 500 with New England and a rookie quarterback the week after.
Beat Pittsburgh. I don't see how you could possibly feel good about this game Sunday. I don't see how you can. Even with Adams there. I hope I'm wrong.
Did you see what the early line was for the Jets-Steelers game?
I don't really pay attention to the lines until tomorrow. Actually, yeah, that's right. That usually I do pay attention. It is Tuesday, but we played yesterday. It's got to be at least 6.5. Pittsburgh's favored by.
Joe, the Jets are 2-point favorites.
What?
2-point favorites.
They can't be 2-point favorites.
The Jets.
That line will change. That's not possible. That's not wrong. That's wrong. There's no way to favor in that game.
I'm telling you, 2-point favorites.
That's going to change. I'll tell you that.
It probably will, but it just shows you it's like you compare the talent levels between these two teams. I know Pittsburgh's got the reputation. Their O-line is in shambles. They don't have a great quarterback. They're kind of winning with smoke and mirrors because they're well coached with Tomlin.
Yeah, and they got a good defense. Look, they got a good defense. They put pressure on the quarterback. They do something the Jets don't do. They take the ball away. That's the story. That's the bottom line. It really is.
Unreal. Comments, questions, super chats for Joe B. Anything from this game last night, Joe, that we didn't hit on? I know obviously the Adams news broke right in, but we talked about some of the main stuff. What else besides the ref show and some of the other key things really stood out that you want to get off your chest?
No, I think we hit on everything. The kicker stunk. He killed us with the 2 missed field goals. The penalties were Tyron Smith had a horrific game. There's no other way to say it. The holding penalty on the goal line, of course, is a touchdown. The play where Ebenezer went around him like he was a statue when he just destroyed Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't block to stay in front of Brees Hall on a play that got blown up. He had a horrible game. You had the big holding penalty on Tippmann on the last drive of the game, which really hurt him. I mean, you could go on and on. Williams slipping. The defense can't stop the run. The defense can't come up with a ball that's on the ground that should have, that big time defenses always find a way to come up with. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, I think we hit on everything. Brees Hall zigging when he should have been zagging and should have got in the end zone. The inability to score in the red zone. I mean, I think we pretty much hit on every freaking aspect of this disaster last night.
Couple super chats here before we wrap up with Joe. Bang Mateo says the contract year hustle strikes again. Quinnen Williams got us. I mean, it's frustrating because I don't like Q hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been anywhere near as good as he was 2 years ago when he was first team All-Pro.
Now, look, he's not Muhammad Wilkerson, okay? All right? But he's not Joe Klecko either. So, I mean, he has not played well. He's another guy on this defense. Got a lot of big guys, big names that are overrated. Quinnen Williams is overrated. Sauce Gardner is overrated. C.J. Mosley's invisible now. I think his career's over. I think this injury is going to end his career. He hardly played last night. So, I mean, let's be real. Kinlaw stinks. Solomon Thomas stinks. Michael Clemens is an absolute waste. They should cut him. He's just a disaster. Like I said, looks like Tarzan plays like Jane. He stinks. I mean, go on and on. I mean, what else can you say? Chuck Clark got hurt last night. They got guys playing the secondary you never heard of. This guy.
By the way, how bad was Ashton Davis in that first half?
Oh my God. He got beat on that one touchdown. He was nowhere near the guy. He did make one play in the backfield where he made a tackle. But Ashton Davis shouldn't be playing. How's Ashton Davis still on the team? I think the only reason that Ashton Davis is still on this team is because that first draft by Douglas was so bad with Mekhi Becton and Mims as the first two draft choices. He drafted Davis with the third pick that year, and I think that's the only reason he's still here is because I got to have some draft choice from that first draft class, don't I?
Joe, are you ready to hear the conditions on the Davante Adams trade?
Yeah, let me hear it.
From Adam Schefter, trade condition update. The conditional third-round pick the Jets are trading to the Raiders for Davante becomes a second-rounder if any of the following happen. 1, Adams must be a first or second team AP All-Pro. 2, on the active roster for AFC Championship game or Super Bowl.
And then it becomes a second-round pick.
Yes. So feels like this is going to be a third-round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too concerned. Really, it'll be a third-rounder.
Yep. Which good move. It's just frustrating. It comes after being 2-4. That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Storylyn says, bring your game, not your name. Very simple. Mike D. Snut says, what number will Adams wear? I mean, Corley should give him
19. What is he wearing?
17. He wore
17.
I mean, so Corley doesn't play. Can Corley give him his number?
17 now. Corley, right?
Yeah.
Corley?
Yep.
Corley's going to give his number to Adams. Adams will give him $1 million, and changes.
I don't think you could do it in season, though. Is the only thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I believe so. I'm not an NFL equipment guy, but I think there's a rule for whatever
reason. Maybe we're number 7. Reddick's never playing.
There you go. IG writes in, is Quinnen doing okay mentally? Bro looks kind of out of it. He used to be hyped when making big plays, but he seems totally muted for some reason.
Yeah, well, because he's not playing well. He's getting run over like everybody else on the defensive line.
JJ says, we're going 8-3. Adams will keep A-Rod bought in. Let's go. I'm not, but here's the thing. I'm not worried about A-Rod being bought in. Rodgers, I thought, was really good last night. He shows toughness every week as he's taking a beating, and he's still giving this team chances, and they just beat themselves. Like, that's what makes this so frustrating. This team actually has had, for the most part, outside of maybe the Vikings game, competent quarterback play, and they're failing this guy.
Yeah. Can't disagree with you, bro. I can't disagree with you. He played well yesterday, well enough to win the game. There's no doubt.
Derek with a super chat here. Why are we the only team that doesn't even try to punch the ball out on defense? I mean, they don't.
Right.
Yep.
They don't force turnovers. This team never. I mean, I've yelled about this with this defense for years. And then when they got a ball on the ground like they did yesterday, they can't come up with it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And of course, the next play is a touchdown for Buffalo. So it's the same old, bro. It really is.
The great Ernie Acosta in the house, Joe's former producer. Joe Douglas going all in to save his job. I'm still too angry about the loss to enjoy this trade. I think Ernie nails it, right? I think that's how this fan base feels. It's like it's a good move. You gave up a third-round pick for an all-pro receiver, but this team's 2-4. Do they bury themselves before they could really get out of it here?
Yeah. We'll see. And is Rodgers still healthy? Let's hope that's the case.
Right. Louis writes in, I'm like you, Jake. I hate everyone. Cut Clemens Day. Michael Clemens should not be. Jeff Oberg talks about accountability.
Yeah,
if we're going to hold people accountable, Michael Clemens should not be on this team.
Get him out now. I'm with you 100%. Cut him now. Goodbye.
Trying to live prod. If the Jets want to show accountability, they should cut Clemens today. Right. This team made me sick. I cracked my TV screen. I mean, it was agonizing last night. I mean, we've seen a lot of brutal Jet losses. They continue to find new ways to lose games. It's stunning.
Yeah, and then you throw in the just absolutely hideous officiating. And like you said, it's an unwatchable game. It becomes unwatchable when every other play is a goddamn penalty. Okay? And again, this is for both teams. And I've yelled about the officiating for years in the NFL. They don't do anything about it. All they do is add more stupid rules. You know what they do? They add more dumb rules, okay, to the NFL instead of, streamlining the penalties and having these officials who I don't feel are accountable at all, having these officials be more accountable. They really do. They need to streamline the penalties, streamline the calls, and stop from these games becoming one flag fest after another. Absolutely horrible.
Joe, you're going to be wearing the Rodgers jersey this week to manifest a Jet win on Sunday Night Football and keep this season alive somehow.
Well, like I said, my only concern, okay, is that I don't want to be the guy that, if I wear the jersey and Rodgers goes down, then I will feel responsible for it. But I am seriously considering making the move here. I'm seriously considering wearing it on Sunday night against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I am seriously considering.
You know what I did? I got a brick for Coach Olbrich, and I was trying to manifest a win last night myself. It didn't work, unfortunately.
You know what I should have done? I should, because I had to make the transition between the Met game and the Jet game. What I should have done is left my Darryl Strawberry jersey on. That's what I should have done, and I would have been better off. Maybe what I'll do Sunday night is just hopefully the Mets are still playing Sunday night. Hopefully by that point we're getting ready to play your team in the World Series. But maybe that's what I got to do. Maybe I got to wear Met gear during the Jet game, and we'll be better off. Better karma right now. You know what I mean?
Do you think Darryl Strawberry could play left tackle for the Jets?
No, not now. Maybe in 1985 you could. Not now.
Yeah. Real quick here, Robert writes in, still got our streak of preventing fourth quarter touchdowns. Great. How about a streak called a winning streak? Yeah,
that's meaningful. That means a lot.
Web visibility. Since we're talking about cutting guys, can we cut Mike Williams also?
Well, I think you will. I think there's a good chance with Adams coming in, somebody's going, and to me, it'll be Williams.
Storyline. Joe, Reed's not better than Sauce. Too small and overly aggressive. Puts his hands on the other player. Sauce is way smoother, and they didn't try him.
Yeah, well, look, I understand they don't throw the ball at Sauce. Reed's a good player, and you say whatever you want. The pass interference needs to be modified. That one pass interference, the ball was clearly, even Buck and Aikman, even whoever the referee that they have now there, whoever it is that ESPN has their Gene Steratore, if you will, Dean Blandino guy, even he said it. And the ball was uncatchable. It shouldn't have been a penalty. But this is what we see with these, brutal, incompetent officials. I mean, so you say whatever you want. DJ Reed's a nice player, but he got hurt. He's hurt too now.
How about the replay assist where they can just randomly choose when they want to arbitrarily change a call? And there's no transparency at all when they're going to use this replay assist. That's new.
Yeah. It did help him on the Garrett Wilson touchdown, which it clearly was, because they initially called it that he didn't make the catch. He was.
By the way, how do you miss that call? The ref is right there.
Because they stink, bro. You want to know? Because they stink. The officials stink. And how do I know? And seriously, I mean, how do we know? Okay. How do we know that these guys, especially with all the availability that you have to gamble now, even ESPN has a gambling service now. Even they do. What a shock. Fanatics has one. Unbelievable. How do I know with all the gambling available out there that these guys aren't putting money on these? Do I know that? How do I know? How is the NFL vetting these guys correctly? I don't know. Who knows?
Unreal. Let's see. There is a report that they are trying to trade Mike Williams. So there you go. Right. Another one, KJH. They're trying to trade Mike Williams. Is he bringing anything back? Loss on the money line cost me $8,000. So only a $5 super chat. Jeez. Your first mistake is betting on the Jets.
Hold on. This guy, KJH, You bet $8,000 on the Jets last night?
I think he had a parlay, if I remember his chat from my post-game show last night.
Are you delirious? KJH, seriously? 8,000 on the Jets? Oh, my God. Sorry.
Brutal. Joe, I appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. I mean, what's going to break next Monday morning when we do this show?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro. What Joe Douglas gets fired next week? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm so upset right now. As happy as I am with my baseball team, and I'll feel better tomorrow. About 7:30 when Severino gets ready to throw the first pitch. But the Jet loss was just such a downer last night. What else can you say? Such a freaking downer. It's
amazing because, I'm telling you, we've seen what bad Jet teams look like. This team should not be 2-4. No. That's what's so agonizing.
Yep. I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't agree with you more.
When is the next the Pain podcast coming out? Tell the audience.
It'll be out later today. I did it already. So it'll be out at some point. I don't know if my daughter's got it out yet. At some point by the evening, it'll be out. So, and it's a Jet Med extravaganza. the good, the bad, and the ugly, basically. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe you'll see Clint Eastwood coming across the screen. You never know.
Incredible. Joe, you're the best. Thank you for coming on, and I'll talk to you soon. I really appreciate it.
Jake, all the love, my man. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen,
God bless all my Jet fan brethren. What can I tell you? It never changes.
There he is, the great Joe Benigno with us in his weekly spot, repping the Jake Asman Show hat, which you can get at jakeasman.com. Unreal. Thank you to Joe for coming on. He speaks for this fan base on a day like today. Ugh. Just brutal. Brian with a super chat. So only trade Reddick to an AFC team since the Jets would have to give up a 2026 second if traded to the NFC. Diabolical condition to put in by Howie Roseman. I don't know if that's true, Brian. I don't know where you saw that. I got to get more info on that. On what the stipulation would be if they traded Reddick to an NFC team. It becomes a second in 2026. I don't know about that. We know right now it was a third in 2026. They just traded away a third for Davante. That's what we know right now. That's the breaking news. Jets have landed Davante Adams. Just crazy. Hey, come watch Davante's debut. We got a watch party coming up this Sunday night. T-Squared Social. Unreal. I want to play something just to, highlight the fundamental issues the Jets have with just beating themselves. This was Dan Orlovsky this morning on his Twitter account, breaking down the interception at the end of the game last night. If anyone is blaming Aaron Rodgers, watch this and then come back to us because you don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so the final interception, late game last night. Where's the execution need to be better? What's Rodgers talking about post-game when he's saying, hey, I'm expecting Mike to be on a red line, taking their shot downfield? All the details attached to it. Again, a massive part of this is the details of offensive execution. Okay, so number one, when Aaron's talking about the red line, every team essentially has a red line that is painted from end zone to end zone, and it will go 5 yards from the sideline. So up here, 5 yards from the sideline, and it'll be painted all the way down the field. And when they throw vertical shots outside, you tell the wide receiver, hold the red line, stay on the red line. And so then there's space to drift that wide receiver towards the sideline. Okay, so that's when Aaron's saying, I'm expecting him to be on a red line. He's expecting Mike to be out here. Okay, so that's the premise of when he says, hold the red line. He's expecting Mike to be out here 5 yards from the sideline. Okay, so now why? Why would that be the case? Number one, you're expecting Buffalo to be in some form of a two deep safety defense, which is what they spin to. Taron Johnson spins back. Two deep safeties, meaning you're deep and you're deep. All right, this safety, DeMar Hamlin, spun down into that middle linebacker run through. Now, two, the alignment. You have the slot receiver on the ball, the outside receiver off the ball. Why? You want this receiver to get vertical as quickly as possible to threaten that half-field safety, okay? That two deep half-field safety. You want this receiver on the outside to be 5 yards behind this receiver. You're trying to put this guy in stress. If they're both here at the same depth, there's not enough stress. You want this safety to feel that speed down the field and that I have to go cover him and almost void that really deep half priority or rule and play this receiver. And as this safety leaves, you want this then receiver to replace. Okay. So you want that disparity. That's perfect right there. The only problem is you want Mike here. You want Mike to be about 6 or 7 yards wider. Now, if Mike is 6 or 7 yards wider, then you've really got something cooking. Now, is this ball going to be underthrown? Absolutely. But you don't mind the underthrow. If Mike, I promise you, if Mike is here, he's going to go make this catch. He's not going to slip. He's not going to need, the adjustment is going to be outside in rather than rolling over inside out. So that's exactly what happens. This is a really good play call. It's really good protection. It's fantastic by the slot. You get the safety to do exactly what you want. You just need Mike, after he gets to here, to widen. You need him to strain for width to get to there. If he does that, I believe he doesn't slip. It's an outside in rather than an inside out adjustment. And I think his size goes and makes that catch.
Davante Adams probably catches that. I really want to be excited. Davante is going to help this team, but they're facing a must-win on Sunday. You know, no one's going to feel down in the dumps, though. It's going to provide a spark. Look, I just tweeted this. Getting Davante for only a third rounder is a no-brainer. It might be too little too late, but it's the right move for a team that's all in anyway. All right, I know everyone wants to, put Woody Johnson's head on a spike. I think Joe nailed it with what he said in our conversation just before. The two moves Woody Johnson could make, he's made. Fired Saleh, which needed to be done, even with the loss last night. They were not going to win with Robert Saleh. We know this. And they added Davante. And Rodgers could still play at a high level. And we have seen the value of him playing with a guy that knows his tendencies, knows where he needs to be. Allen Lazard actually had a pretty good game last night. He sucked against the Vikings. And to be fair to him, last night he played well. The Jets are a game back at the 7th seed. I know it feels like, the season is lost. It's not. So it's the right move to get Davante, but it's just, man. If this team is 3-3 right now, the outlook is different. This team had a kicker. I mean, the next 2 weeks of the Jets season, they got to win both games. Ray Danger says, Josina Anderson's reporting the Eagles get a second-round pick if Hassan's traded to an NFC team. Great. Cut Clemens. Okay, so if Josina's reporting it, let's go off that. Brian says, Josina posted, is she credible? She's, kind of word vomits with a lot of her information, but, I don't think that's coming from nowhere here. All right, trade Reddick to the Lions, and let's move on from them. I mean, Clemens should be cut either way, though. He stinks. Quentin Jefferson, by the way, was a healthy and active for Cleveland the other day. Get him back. He's better than Clemens. He's better than Eric Watts. He's better than any of these stiffs they're putting out there because Joe Douglas decimated this defensive line depth that used to be the strength of the team. Man with a rake, flushed the red zone offense. You know what's so frustrating about the red zone offense? They go 2 for 4 last night in the red zone. Instead of 1 for 4, they win the game. How about we don't hold Tyron Smith? Also, Breece Hall, opening drive. That drop on 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, that killed that drive too. They settled for 3. And I rewatched the play last night where Breece Hall has one guy to beat, Taylor Rapp, can't beat them one-on-one, and then Zerline ends up missing the field goal. You get no points out of that drive. Should have been up 27-20. Instead, you got no points on that drive. Brian says, Jake, we could actually go on a huge run moving forward. Schedule's not that bad. LFG. I think when we talk about the schedule right now, we're missing the point. This team can lose to anyone right now. I don't even want to think about the schedule. The only thing that this team needs to be thinking about, and the only thing we as fans need to be thinking about, is getting a goddamn win on Sunday against Pittsburgh. That's it. We could talk about a run if they win on Sunday. That's it. You know, here's the thing. This team had a kicker. They're 4-2 right now. That's what's so frustrating. Like, as bad as it's been, they lost 3 games in a row by a combined 10 points. When was the last time that happened, by the way? Usually the Jets get blown out. Right? There's a heartbreaker, then a blowout, and it's same old Jets. This has been an excruciating level of pain, even by Jet standards. When was the last time the Jets lost 3 games by a total of 10 points? I've been a fan of this team a long time. I usually can remember stuff like that. I don't remember. $25 says, package Williams and Reddick. We need O-line help. Don't worry. Joe Douglas could bring in, who was the scrub that never played last year? Their big trade deadline move. What was that guy's name? Someone in the chat help me out. Let's bring him back. Help the O-line. Web visibility. Bro, imagine we won last night, then got Adams. We'd be thinking Super Bowl. Yeah. And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Like, win these games, man. Roger Saffold. Yeah, let's bring him back. I'll fix the offensive line. Only the Jets could ruin getting Davante Adams. Brutal. All right. Gusbuster hotline is open. We'll get to some calls now. Appreciate everyone tuned in. If you want Benigno's take on Davante, he joined us for the first hour of the show. So click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to your calls right now.
If you go to gusbuster.com, you could purchase the best umbrella in the universe. And you can use the promo code Jake, so you'll get 15% off on any of your umbrellas.
Nate is first up today. Hello, Nate.
Appreciate that, Jake. How's it going? Actually, I know how it's going. Left tackle didn't look great last night. I guess I'll cover the bad first. Gave up 4 sacks already. He hasn't given up 4 sacks in 4 or 5 years, and that was in a whole season. I don't know what's going on with Tyron Smith.
He looks washed, which is crazy because this guy was second team All-Pro last year. The concern with Tyron Smith was never would he be good. Is he going to be healthy? He's been healthy and he sucked.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. By the way, great trade by the one and only JD.
I don't want to hear about Douglas. I could have made the Davante Adams trade. Give me a break.
Hey, great conditions. I like the conditions on the pick. But yeah,
awesome. How about wins? When do we hold this guy accountable for not winning?
I mean, I'm looking at what's going on in the field too. But we all like the roster. We agreed on that. Like, we all like the roster, and so does Woody Johnson. That's why he made that move, and he's the one that's kind of laying the law at one.
I get it, but he hired the coach. He missed on the quarterback. He's been here a long time. The roster should be good. He's 29-60. I'm not saying Douglas is a bad GM. I just think he is not immune to criticism. You're wearing a Joe Douglas jersey. He's 29-60. I can't do it today.
I mean, he's made mistakes. He's absolutely made mistakes, but he's shown that he could learn from his mistakes too. Like, he's pivoted at times. Like, he drafted a bad left tackle, pivoted to Tyron Smith. Drafted a bad quarterback, pivoted to a Hall of Famer, and Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's made the right pivots after making mistakes. We can't. He's not going to bat 1,000. No GM is going to bat 1,000. But anyway, I didn't call in to talk Joe Douglas.
How's the defensive line? How's the defensive line?
That was my point. I mean, that was my next point, Jake. The defensive line is absolutely. He takes all the blame for the defensive line. He lost everyone this offseason and replaced it with nothing. Absolutely. I was saying that. I was on Nick's show earlier in the week, and all we did was focus on the D-line. We looked at the tape of Michael Clemens, Tack McKinley, every other random undrafted guy that we have out there, and it was terrible, and it's been terrible. Even last time when people said, "Oh, we gave up X amount of points last week," and Salo was saying, "Oh, we gave up 13 points," and that he was kind of proud of his defense. The defensive line's been terrible the whole time. The edges I mean, we lost Jermaine. The starting edges are terrible. The depth is terrible. We rely on that. So yeah, that's been tough, and that's actually absolutely on JD. That's why I'm hoping somehow we don't trade Reddick and can somehow get him in for a year. I'll go Neil mode with glass half full for a second though, Jake. We lost the game, and that was terrible. It's a bad result. There was a lot of good that happened though, right? Like we saw Brees Hall break out for 100. We saw the offensive line look a little bit better. Rodgers got sacked 3 times. Brees had a lot of holes. He obviously should have finished that run. We know all the shoulda, woulda, couldas. The QB I thought looked good again. Davante Adams is going to make that play on 3rd and 16. Like having Davante, Lazard, and Garrett. Like, do you have faith in this offense going forward?
I don't know if I have faith in anything right now. But yeah, I mean, they're a better team. I'm not going to act like they're not a better team than Davante. They obviously are.
They put up 400 yards yesterday. And I have faith in that receiving core, Brees Hall, the offensive line meshing. Like I have faith, and we have Aaron Rodgers. I have faith in that side. Downing looked a lot better. You said it in your show last night.
I know,
Downing
but they lost. Nate, they lost. It's like you got to win these games.
I'm with you. But like these players, like Jake, you've played before. You lose games. Like you can't wait to get back on the field. These players.
Yes, I had a long, distinguished career in the NFL.
Jake, but if they win 2 games, Rodgers has won 2 games. What? 2 games in a row, 50, 60 times in his career. Like he can win 2 games. It's
yes,
not.
But
it's
he's
not
a Jet
impossible.
now. That now he can't overcome the jettiness of it all. That's the problem, Nate. I'm with you. I'm just like beat Pittsburgh, man. I cannot do the.
No, it's got to happen on the scoreboard. It's got to happen on the scoreboard. At least we saw it. I haven't watched the all 22 or whatever. At least we saw it on the scoreboard. You've been saying cut Michael Clemens. Absolutely, he needs to be the Bates this week. This is Jake. This is the screenshot. Not to be a weed for a second. This is the screenshot of the Michael Clemens play. Not only is he like you can be dumb or you can be bad at football. Like you can't be both. You got to pick one. He's both. He's stupid enough to go for the fake. But look at this, Jake. He's 10 yards away from him, and he still somehow can't contain it. Like this is when he's looking at the ball's here. He's staring at him, and he's not athletic. He can't. He has no bull rush. He's just not good at football, and he's out there all the time. I mean, we saw it every single week. It's absolutely brutal. But I have faith in them winning 2 games. Like it's possible. It's not like we're not begging Zach Wilson to score 17 and the defense to give up 10. Think things need to get on the same page. Obviously, special teams was a major role last night, but they're obviously going to have faith in Greg Zuerlein. They said it after the game. Did you listen to the Ulbrich presser?
I did.
I felt better after listening to his press conference, just in terms of the coach. Like he was looking himself in the mirror, saying, "I have to address everything. We might have to change defensive fronts." We might have immediately after the game talking about the changes that need to be made, not that. Oh well, the defense only gave up 3 points in the second half, and we just got to knock down. Like I saw that he identified problems and at least said it. At least made me feel a little bit better than Robert Saleh in the post game press conference. But I don't know. Woody clearly wants to win. They got the wide receiver. I love the wide receiving core we have. I think they're going to figure it out. I think the offensive line is going to gel. I don't think Michael Clemens and Tack McKinley are going to get better. That needs to be improved. It's on this guy to make the move now to like clean up his mistakes with the D line and not have the issues we had with the quarterback last year and not just wash it over and hope it works out because it's not going to work out and that's the edge is not going to get better. People told me about Lakeview Fotu. Can't wait for him to suit up. He was just another guy last night. Wasn't bad. Wasn't good. They got to get someone on the edge. I don't know if is this Hassan Reddick true? That he's requested or they've given him options to seek a trade. Like
his agent is allowed to reach out to teams. But here's the thing: I don't know how many teams want him because there's a reason why the Jets were able to get him for basically a bag of used footballs, a 3rd round pick, and at the time 3 drafts from now. So. You know what I hope happens? He shows up and plays for the Jets this week, and they beat Pittsburgh with him on the defensive line and Adams at receiver, and let's start the season. That's the goal.
It would be an injection of life, and it'd be an injection of life. Was it true about the NFC team, the 2nd round pick?
Josina Anderson is reporting that.
It's almost it makes no sense to trade him to the Lions then. If you're gonna because we're right now we're an early 2nd round pick where we stand. They're a late 2nd round pick. What like we already need more than that. If we're giving up a second to give this guy to a team with obviously JD and the guys think we might play in the Super Bowl, like you don't do that. You don't. And I'd rather ruin his career. I'd rather give up our conditional third and keep him here and ruin his career and watch him lose money and scam more people for health charge. Like I'm not into giving up, especially if you have to give up a second to the Eagles. He's not going to want to do that against his old boss and just look that foolish. I'd rather either you're going to play it as a Jet and figure it out with your new agent. Like it seemed like there was some energy with that yesterday, or you're not going to play football this year. Period. You're not going to screw us and get what you want out of it. And we got to give up a second to the old team. That's great. No, there's too many lose there.
Well, the thing would be you'd be able to get Reddick's contract cleared, and then what would be the subsequent move you would make? I'm kind of with you, though. I'm not doing this guy any favors. All right, unless the team's making an offer worthwhile. I'll keep Reddick and say you're playing for us or you're playing for nobody. But I'm sorry, Nate. You can't be wearing the Joe Douglas jersey after this game last night. Not when his free agent moves of Tyron Smith and Mike Williams directly hurt this team last night. It's a good deal getting Davante. I'm not going to sit here and act like trading a third-round pick for an all-pro level receiver who's got chemistry with your Hall of Fame quarterback is not a good move. But this team is one win away from basically being done. The Packers last year started 2-5. They made the playoffs. The last time the Jets won the division, they were 2-5. This team is good. They're better than the record. They got to win, though. J-Mo says, blind optimism is as annoying as doomerism. Look, I'm not going to tell fans how to feel. We're fans. But it's just, I can't do the, Joe Douglas great today. No. I'm mad at everyone. It's a good trade, but I'm not going to sit here and, be like, yeah, let's go. Like, this team's got to go into Pittsburgh and win now. Can they do it? Yeah, they absolutely can, but do I feel great about it? How could you feel great right now? If you're just joining us, let's reset. Davante is a Jet. Adam Schefter with the conditions of the deal. It's a third-round pick that can become a second if any of the following happen. Adams is first or second team All-Pro. He's on the active roster for the AFC title game or Super Bowl. Give me the second scenario of these two, by the way. God. Captain Swanson writes in, Jake, stop circling the wagons. The season is done. Clearly, you don't listen to this show, Captain Swanson. All right? And I'm going to make it easy for you. You're done listening to the show for the day. Goodbye, bum. Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. Moron. Absolute moron. Taps any button. O-line, D-line's trash. Bench Clemens and Smith. Trade for DL. Look, here's the thing, right? You could argue Olu should play this week over Tyron Smith. But is that the right move against TJ Watt? Your first game as the starting left tackle against the best pass rusher in the league. You could say, hey, you got to do it because he's better than Tyron Smith, or do you trust Tyron Smith because he's a Hall of Famer to, find a way to bounce back? What's so crazy about the Tyron Smith stuff, this guy was second team All-Pro last year. The concern with him was not ability. No one thought he'd turn into Mekhi Becton when he became a Jet. It was, can he be on the field? Problem is, he's been on the field, he sucked. Bilal, start Taylor over Kinlaw. Kinlaw, terrible signing. Yeah. I mean, can't be worse. KJH, can you bring Reddick in under a contract that makes Drew look great, but in reality is only a one-year deal? He's still a huge help. No, Clemens must go. Yeah, look. I would prefer Reddick plays for the Jets. He can help them. All right, last night we were watching Michael Clemens try and chase Josh Allen when we all of us knew what Josh Allen was going to do on that fucking play, man. Anyone who thought there was any scenario where Allen was not going to have the ball in his hands with the game on the line is a moron. We all knew it was going to be in his hands, besides Michael Clemens. So get him off the team. He stinks. He's horrible. Horrible. Stop defending this guy. Joe B nailed it. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. I'm sick of Clemens' nonsense. And then that fat bastard, Deion Dawkins, running his mouth like you did something. Dude, you're talking trash to a guy who's going to be a journeyman defensive lineman in this league. I'm so disgusted, man. Only the Jets can make acquiring a top 5 receiver in the league feel like, what's the point? Amazing. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to the Hamburger. He's next. Hello, Hamburger.
What's up, Jake? No, nothing happy coming out of my mouth today, that's for sure.
I'm sorry the Jets ruined your birthday, Hamburger.
It's to be expected. It's to be expected. I was in the parking lot. I hung out in L5, burned the jersey. Walking into that stadium, it kind of felt weird, man. Not everybody was up and ready to go. The stadium wasn't that energetic. I mean, but holy shit. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. How do you let Buffalo run down your throat like that all night and gash you for yards after yards? Just absolutely brutal. I mean, I have nothing good to say. Do I think the season's over? No. But I'm not going to be cheerful. I'm not going to be, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I don't even care that we signed Davante right now. I could give 2 shits. What I saw last night was brutal. It was I can't fathom like thinking this team's going to be good anymore. It's brutal. I can't deal with it anymore.
You gotta show us, Hamburger. I'm with you, dude. I mean, like, look, they beat Pittsburgh. You're 3-4. You're right there. Going to New England. But none of this matters unless they beat Pittsburgh. Nothing matters.
Yeah. I'm coming to the viewing party next week. But listen, I don't know how happy I'm going to be leading into the week. I don't care about shit right now about this team. I really don't. I could care less. I need to see better. We need to get a new kicker, get rid of Clemens. Aaron played well last night. I have no problem with the way Aaron played. He had a good throw. He had one bad throw that I seen, but Lazard played great. I thought he much improved, but Smith, I mean, come on. How many times are you gonna let Aaron get smashed in the back? Just let your block go and let Aaron get almost decapitated, and then you get a holding penalty call when we get into the end zone. Like, are you kidding me? It just never ends with this team. But listen, I hope everybody has a great day. Let's go Mets. And I don't know. It is what it is. It's the Jets. So
yeah. Look, win on Sunday, man. That's all I can do. I'm glad I'll beat you in person, Hamburger. I'm looking forward to that at least. And we will have your Mets, assuming the NLCS is still going. They will be on all the TVs with the Jet game. So to all my Met Jet fans out there, don't worry. If you're coming to the watch party, maybe you don't have multiple screens in your house. Met game will be on. You can watch both the Mets and the Jets at the same time. And during commercial breaks for the Jets, we will have the Mets sound on. So, we'll do the best we can. Yankees will not play that night. I believe they would be at Game 5 the previous night. Or actually, Game 5 would be Saturday. No, it would be, Game 5 would be Saturday, and then Game 6 would be in the Bronx. Monday, Game 7 would be a week from tonight. Any Asmaniac going to the Yankee game tonight. I'll see you there. Hennessy says, now I know why older fans are like Peter and Joe B. Yeah, because, nothing changes. They should have won this game 7 different ways last night. It's so agonizing, man. If they, the last 2 years, the Jets haven't been good, but they've had an elite kicker that has stolen some games from them. Now the same guy can't hit anything. And I get it. It's windy. He missed a 32-yarder last night. And the 43-yarder he missed was on the side where the wind wasn't that big of a factor, they're saying. Tim says, hopefully we recapture lightning in the bottle. Look, the Jets have to go 8-4, I think, to be a playoff team. They already lost last night, so now they can only lose 3 more times the rest of the season. That's where we're at. More calls. The big fella's on the line. What's up, big fella?
Hey, Jake. How you doing, man?
Another day in Jet Paradise, big fella.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, man, every loss sucks, but there's some positives that we saw last night. They really are. And, the loss dampens that down, but I've been a fan since 82. So, I've seen a lot. The offense was better, way better, actually.
No, between the 20s, they were great. And then they get in the red zone and they revert back to, a below average bottom 3 offense in the league.
No, I get it. But, Brees and Garrett, they were lighting it up last night. And, that's.
Yeah, but
that's
you know what? Like, I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer. I love those
okay.
guys. But it's like, Brees, you got one guy to beat.
I know.
On a long touchdown. Put your head down and run through the guy instead of doing the woo. And Garrett, I love you. And these guys owned it after the game, so I'm not saying anything they don't know.
Yeah.
Garrett, like, you got to I know he took a shot. Hold on to the football, man. Like,
right.
these guys are great players. But if they want to, these guys, let me rephrase. These guys are very good players. But if they want to be great, these are the plays you make that the great ones make.
No, I got you. And I think, I watched the Manning pass last night instead of Joe Buck and Aikman. I think watching Joe Buck and Aikman when they cover the Jets just brings you down even more, man. So it was a welcome change. I am upset that we lost, but like I said, I see positives. I think Ulbrich, this is the week that he has to show, okay, the team messed up, with the penalties and all that shit. This is the week that he has to hold the players accountable. Tyron Smith cannot. All right, if he's playing like shit, we got to put Olu in there or like platoon him or whatever.
I think he's going to start at left tackle, but I'm 100% with you. Like, if it's clear, he stinks. He doesn't have Olu's got to be out there because it can't be worse. Like Tyron Smith does not look like a guy who was a second team All-Pro a year ago. He was terrible last night. He was not good against the Vikings. He was not good against. It's now 3 games in a row he hasn't played well.
And it's not like Epinesa is like some friggin'. He's good, but it's not like he's TJ Watt. You know what I mean? So if he's messing up against Pittsburgh, we have to put Olu out there also. Kinlaw last night. What was the penalty that he got called on? Like down by the goal line? Like I don't know. It was something with the ref. Like he said something to the ref or something. I don't know. But and Clemens, I was supportive of Clemens. Not anymore. He needs to go. He really needs to go. But like I said, I do see, positive things. Ulbrich being the coach, that's what we wanted to change from Saleh. We saw it. We got Adams now. Hopefully the drops will stop. I don't think he's going to be dropping stuff like, happened last night. Mike Williams got hit in the balls with a freaking football last night, bro. What was that? That was nuts. And then, and then obviously the slip on the turf and, that interception was incredible, by the way. I do see positives, and I think, I do think we're going to beat Pittsburgh. I do. And also Buffalo's schedule coming up is not good for them. They're playing some tough teams. So I do think we're still going to crack that bottle, my friend. I really do. I know you don't feel it right now. I'm going to talk you off the ledge. We are going to crack that bottle. And I do feel like, I do see things going in the right direction. Like I said,
here's the thing with Buffalo's schedule. They got a 2.5 game lead now, and they have the head-to-head over the Jets with a win at MetLife. Like, it's, The Jets just need to win games. I can't worry about any other team. I can't worry about how watered down the AFC is. Like, they're only a game out of the 7th seed, Jake. I get it. This team just lost 3 games in a row to 3 teams they should have beat.
I know. And that's how close we are. But, I mean, I think things will get – I think things are going to change. I really do. And maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before since 82. My wife last night goes, "So what made you choose this team?" I said, "I don't know." I honestly don't know. But you want to know something? She's lucky because as a Jet fan, I'm loyal, so I'm never leaving her either. So, it's it's everything's gonna be all right. We're gonna get this fixed. We have a Hall of Fame quarterback now. All the changes that we wanted are happening. Now let's let it take place, and that's it.
Big fella, God bless. Love the positivity. I'm just not there right now. They've had the Hall of Fame quarterback the last 3 games too, and they failed him. Snake writes in, Jets, Jets. BSK, I can't tell if big fella's trolling us. He's the big fella, man. He's a happy fella. Breaking news, if you're just tuning in, Davante Adams is a Jet. 3rd round pick, Jets taking on the full salary. So give Woody credit. He's not being cheap. It's just, is it too little, too late? Also, for those saying the Jets just made this deal because, they lost last night, it's a panic move. The reports were Davante flew in yesterday. So this deal was already in the works. Once Davante passes his physical, he's a Jet. I mean, look, they win on Sunday. They're 3-4 going to New England with a chance to get back to 500. It could change quick. It's the NFL, but you're running out of time. Let's say hello to Jerome, the Packer fan. He knows a thing or two about Davante Adams. What's up, Jerome?
What's going on, Jake? I'm kind of with you on things. How you feeling about matters, man? I'm a little concerned now.
You should be.
Rodgers cannot overcome undiscipline. He can't overcome being hit. One of the things we did in Packerland, we didn't have undisciplined stuff. We used to pull players. We sit players, and that's maybe what Auburn needs to do. If they can't get that reeled in with those penalties, he's got to pull them. Rodgers getting hit like that, he can't take too much more of that. Y'all season will be over if he gets hurt, because he's the only one that kind of kept y'all in the game. He gave y'all a chance. The receivers, if the ball hits you in the hand, you got to catch it. If it hits you in the hand, you got to catch it. And that's pretty much it. That's all they need to correct. Tyron Smith, if he gets overran in that Steelers game, you got to put Olu in. You got to produce now. It's like y'all not on the brink, but y'all have a schedule such that y'all should be able to run off the next 4 or 5 games. So that's good. But other than that, we can't have Rodgers getting hit. And if the ball hits you in the hand, you got to catch it. That's all I really got, man.
Jerome, God bless. Gangrene Goliath, enjoy the moments. Yes. We'll always have that Patriot win, folks. How has this team not won a game since that night? Like, it's just every year this team finds new ways to just inject pain. The Apple Watch just went off. I can't. I might actually not make it through this season. Michael writes in, blame defensive line, not kicker. Buffalo kicker missed 4 points too. F. Clemens. No, I'm going to blame Greg Zuerlein because it's his job to hit a 32-yard kick. Nate, As bad as yesterday was, offense put up 400-plus yards. If Greg makes his kicks or Priest makes one cut, we'd be bricked up celebrating Tay Adams talking Super Bowl right now. I get it. Can they beat Pittsburgh? And then we can talk. Beat Pittsburgh. King Lowski's next. What's up, King?
Man, Jake, my brother, man. I'm so pissed off, man. I'm trying to find words, okay? At the end of the day, man, you can't overcome the bull that comes from this doggone team, man. I'm just so, this Tay Adams thing, it does nothing for me, bro. It does nothing for me because it's like putting a Band-Aid on a cut leg. The leg is already severed, man. All right? We lose to Pittsburgh. This thing is over, man. All right? At the end of the day, man, you can't, like Jerome said, you can't overcome undisciplined damn football. Okay? Now, I'm seeing this damn offensive line game after game just run around with their head cut off. Okay? Tyron Smith is missing a wide open block. Don't even put his hands on the man. I'm talking about a damn cornerback, man. You don't put your hands on him. It could have been a touchdown. Okay? This damn undisciplined football, man. Getting out cold game after game. Okay? You can't overcome. You cannot win in this damn league with undisciplined freaking football. You can't do it. I don't give a damn how much talent you got. Now, I'm going to tell you who we becoming. This is who we become. We becoming damn fried-ass fish down there in Miami. All the talent in the world with no damn discipline. Okay? With trash-ass discipline. You cannot win in this league with, oh my gosh, man. You got to be kidding me. 3 games in a row, man. 3 games a damn row. So many damn penalties. What was it, 200-something yards of penalties? Are you kidding me? What are we talking about? If we lose to Pittsburgh, it is over with. Y'all counted days, man. Started damn mock drafts. I'm so heated. I'm so pissed. Okay? This cannot be real, man. If they don't get this damn team together to play Pittsburgh, this shit is over. Trust and believe, man. JTS! Yes!
King, I appreciate it. Look at it. It's beat Pittsburgh. That's it. This team lost 3 games by a combined 10 total points in a row. It's just. By the way, report. Davante Adams' hamstring should be fine. Jets plan to get him in the lineup Sunday night. Amazing. By the way, I know people have said, oh, Rodgers is going to retire. No, he's not. I'm telling you, you're not making this move. Davante's not coming here unless he knows he's got Rodgers for next year, too. This is a 2-year window. Now, I don't know who the coach is going to be next year, but Aaron Rodgers will be the Jet quarterback next season. You know, barring something unforeseen like another serious injury or something like that, which with this O-line right now maybe is possible, but the Jets will have Davante, I believe, for this year and next year with Rodgers. That's why they made this move. More of your calls. Alec K is next. Hello, Alec.
Hey, Jake. Happy to be here again. And obviously after last week, it was a shit show. I wanted to give a shout out to the guys who aren't getting any love in the football world. I thought it was a good chance. Shout out to the Hall of Fame, the AFA guys. They've been putting on a great, unit and community for years now, and they're in the same Hall of Fame in Canton as the NFL guys. So, shout out to them. And Dad was a 2016 guy that got inducted. So, shout out to all the AFA guys who are playing football and keeping the dream alive.
What does AFA stand for?
It's the American Football Association. So it's the semi-pro league that plays throughout the country. There's teams all over the place in the U.S. So guys who are just trying to keep their dream alive and keep the game and be fresh. And a lot of guys who coach and become high school and college coaches play. Dad did it for a long time and then went on to coach for 35 plus years and loved the game. So that's why I'm here.
Cool.
In terms of the game that we had, an absolute shit show. The offensive line, defensive line continues to just be not only one of the most problematic groupings on our team, and to kind of pair what King said, like the undisciplined style of football is just, it's incredible that we can have this much turnover in coaching staff, quality of players, get talent in, and still see these basic issues occur no matter who's coaching. I didn't expect Ulbrich to instantly turn this around and all of a sudden create the disciplined style of football in like 1/2 of a week, 1 week, I guess, because he's been part of the coaching staff. He has to have played some part in this undisciplined style. Now, if he gets his hands around it and can straighten us out, we'll have to see. I think Davante is a great add. It's really, really nice to see him hit the lineup. And I think it's going to take out some of our most problematic skilled pieces in key downs. Like Mike Williams cannot be on the field in some of these key downs. And frankly, I know Lazard's made a few good plays, but I don't want to see him hitting the damn field on 3rd down either at this point. Like if he's not going to be blocking the way that he needs to, if the edges aren't going to be set, he just doesn't serve for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Alec. Here's the thing: he's been better than Mike Williams, to be fair.
Absolutely. Mike, we should jettison off into whatever team will take him for whatever at this point.
That's the problem, though, right? Like, I honestly, Lazard now is actually slotted where he should be. Like, this is, Lazard is your 3rd receiver with Rodgers. He's not your typical. Like, Lazard has issues catching the ball. Last night, he caught the ball, so he was effective. They need Garrett to continue to be Garrett. Davante's going to be Davante, and Lazard could be, the 3rd option, and Rodgers trusts him, which is enough, And look, they got Brees involved last night. Like, just if they could correct the red zone stuff, they should be a pretty good offense. It's just
do we wonder if Nate Hackett needs to be running the gold zone again? Like, is that a thing? I'm honestly at this point, it's unbelievable that we can't use the talent we have. Rodgers might be old, and people have seen me in the comments. I'm bitching up a storm because if I watch him underthrow one more pass that he should be absolutely able to throw, it's going to drive me crazy, and I'm going to hold him accountable for that. But our wide receivers, our running backs, and our line aren't holding the blocks, and we as Jets fans, we can't expect to win games when our team is not performing at a high tier NFL level. These guys do not hate to lose the way we do. We are fans that have watched this team lose over and over again. And most of these guys are used to winning before they hit the NFL. As far as I'm concerned, they don't hate to win as much, or they don't hate to lose as much as we do. They just enjoy winning. And when they start hating to lose as much as we do as fans, maybe we'll see a team that actually gives a fuck about the Jets like we do.
Alec, I appreciate it. I don't think any criticism of Rodgers last night is warranted, though. I thought he was really good last night. Mike Williams completely failed him on that play. Dan Orlovsky broke it down. I already played it earlier in the show. He ran the complete wrong route. And even still, Rodgers adjusted mid-play to the wrong route he was running and gave him a chance, and he slipped. If he runs the right route, he catches that ball. You see it on film. We got Fialco at 4 p.m. today. Or actually 3:15 today because I'm going to the Yankee game tonight. So we got to move it up. Henny, enjoy the ride, Jake. Oh, it's a ride, all right. Yeah, I have this brick for Ulbrich. I'm going to bash my head into this brick instead after this bullshit we all watched last night. Hamburger, thank you for the $2. 90 cents away from a Subway ride, baby. Kyle writes in, why trade for Mike Williams? I want to be able to sit Lazard. Look, Lazard's better than Mike Williams right now. Because he can play with Rodgers. That's really what it comes down to. Alan Lazard stinks for every other quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers. That's why getting Davante, despite the loss, it's the right move. You're all in. It was a 3rd-round pick. I can give a flying F about a 3rd-round pick. How many 3rd-round busts have the Jets drafted over the years? Jabari Zuniga was a 3rd-round pick. All right. I'm good. Wrong verb. Dust off Bakhtiari so the gang's all here. I mean, he couldn't be worse than Tyron Smith, could he? It's crazy that Smith has struggled the way he has. Once again, the conversation with Tyron Smith was never, oh, he's washed. It's he can't stay on the field. He was second team All-Pro last year in 13 games. Chef Nico is here. Everyone give some love to Chef Nico, diehard Jet fan. And the reason why I'm going to Yankee Stadium tonight. Keep your head up, Jet fans. Tough to do that today. More calls right now. Let's say hello to Marcus. He's next. Hey, Marcus.
Jake, I mean, what a fucking disaster last night was, my friend. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, well, for me, it didn't stop till 4:30 in the morning, just sitting there watching this shit. I mean, after most losses, after a couple of hours, it goes away. But this one just stings, man. I mean, you talk about a wasted opportunity to change the narrative, and we choke it like that. I think for me, before we look at the season, who would have thought we'll be 2-4 right now? Like nobody, genuinely, who would have thought that?
I thought they were going to start 4-1, and
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like, and they should be that like, oh, if they had a kicker, they're 4-2 right now.
Yeah,
that's what
I
sucks.
know, it's crazy, man. I think that the thing that worries me the most is like, you look at since Denver, Rodgers has had the shit kicked out of him, and like there's been a few times, like I remember in London when he basically got folded into two. He's rolling around on the ground like looking like he's about to die, and like he takes 2 shots. Last night as well. It's like how is this sustainable for him? He's 40 years old. How much more can this guy take? And like I know there's a lot of positive guys out there, but a loss like that is so deflating. It's hard to see like the direction of this team. Where do we go? Like I say, forget playoffs, forget everything. Just get back to 500, and then the season's back on, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, hang in there, guys. But yeah, I'm feeling it today. I don't know how the rest of Jet Nation's feeling, but yeah, mate, it's going to be a tough week. And as I say, I've got a friend I'm watching the Steelers game with, and like I say, if we don't win this, man, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, look, it's a must-win, Marcus, and I'm sorry you got to be up till the wee hours of the morning again to watch the Jets in primetime. Are you in London? Where are you based out of?
No, I'm a couple hours from London, but I've been like chugging the coffee today. But yeah, man, like I'm feeling it, and it's just the Bills as well. The Bills, we could have done them. We could.
I know.
I
hate them. I hate them. I hate their fans. I hate everything. Their city's a shithole. I hate it. I hate everything about Buffalo, and I'm just so disgusted, Marcus.
Yeah,
I really am.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday, I guess.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it sucks. I'm so angry. I didn't mean to dump on Buffalo, but you got great wings, Buffalo. But I hate Buffalo. I really do. I will never. I had the worst experience of my life going to Jets Bills in 2016. So I will never forgive those fans. They suck. I've been to Fenway for Yankees, Red Sox. Jet Bills, the worst experience I've ever had. Huge shout out to DBO and Donald Jones, who are our 2 most recent Patreon subscribers. Appreciate it. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show to support the show. Discord access, name in the intro, 15% off every merch item, and just general support. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Gary. Hello, Gary.
What's going on, Jake? I said after last week's loss that if they lost to Buffalo, I'd be singing a very different tune. Singing a very different tune.
Are you going to sing for us?
The Adams, I'm definitely not going to be singing for you. The Adams trade is, I don't want to call it a desperation move, but it's that point in the fight where you just got to look your fighter in the face and talk to him like a man. Like, we're not going to win this fight on the cards, so we need to pick up the aggression. Like, we need to commit to every shot now. Like, that's the kind of move it is. It's not a desperation move, but I'm just telling you what we're doing right now isn't going to work. So we need to do something different. And we're losing this fight right now. You need to hear that. I mean, I can't complain about the movie. It's an all-in year, right? So trade the third.
It was it's a third round pick ultimately. Like, they have their first, they have their second this year. It's a third round pick. Fine.
This is. I mean, I really thought they were going to win that game. I mean, I kind of think everyone felt this way. Like right before half, you're like, they're going to blow this season, and then Rodgers throws that miracle bomb to Lazard. You're like, we're going to win this game.
No, that was the moment. Dude, 100%. They won last night. The play, like, just like the play that changed, the Mets season, the moment was like the team meeting that Lindor called, and then they've been the best team in baseball since. Or like you go back to the moment where Alonso's been terrible for most of this year, and he comes through, and you win that game, and it's like, that's the moment. Like, that was the moment for the Jets. That moment right there, Rodgers rescuing them from being down 10 at the half to being right there. And it just, they still lose. Only the Jets could get Aaron Rodgers, and he plays like that, and they still lose. That's what kills you waking up today. Or I didn't sleep last night, but for those who did, that's what kills you waking up today.
It would be the equivalent of the Mets blowing the game in the bottom of the ninth after Alonso's home run against the Brewers. Like, you don't lose that game, you win that game. You get a miracle like that, you got to win that. And it's tough to watch. You're 2-4. Look, I'm not blaming Ulbrich. It's not Ulbrich's fault. Ulbrich was asked to do the impossible, right? We're asking him to win a game on 5 days' notice to save the season. I really felt like yesterday, both of my teams' season was on the line. They both absolutely had to find a way to win, and the Mets did it. And I really thought the Jets were going to do this, and then they missed 2 field goals. Then the Tippmann penalty. It's just everyone said they lost 3 close games. Yeah, football games in the NFL are typically close. It's not the Longhorns. You're not going to blow everyone out by 30. Football games in the NFL are typically one-score games. Good teams win them. Bad teams lose them. The Jets have lost 3 in a row. Where does that tell you what the Jets are?
I mean, I'm not going to argue. They're not a good team right now. And I don't put this on Ulbrich at all, honestly. Like, if Greg Zuerlein hits a field goal, they win. If Tyron Smith, who's going to the Hall of Fame, doesn't commit a holding penalty, they win. These are the plays that define everything. Like, I thought Downing called a pretty good game on offense. They used more motion in last night's game than they have in any game all season. They had 400 yards of offense. They had 2 100-yard wide receivers. They had a 100-yard rusher. Their quarterback nearly threw for 300 yards and had a 100 passer rating. Like, you still lost. Like, I mean, they're out of wiggle room. Beat Pittsburgh and have a season. Otherwise, we're going nowhere. They might be going nowhere anyway, but this is the Jets' last stand Sunday night in Pittsburgh.
Is Andrew going to help us with why the Jets can't? Is he going to show us why the Jets can't put the ball in the end zone? Like, we're getting okay. I mean, this is. It was easy to blame on Zach Wilson. Okay, Zach Wilson can't put the ball in the end zone. Now we have Aaron Rodgers and Mike Williams. Like, I don't understand why we can't punch the ball in. We got Breece Hall, we got Mike Williams, we got Garrett Wilson, we got Aaron Rodgers. Why is this the goal line? The goal line and the red zone struggles are so bad again this year.
They punched it in, and then it got called back because you had a brutal holding call. Like, even that play call, by the way, was a great idea. You used Braylon Allen as a fullback. Everyone's attention's on Breece. They're thinking they're going to pitch it or toss it to him. No, give it to the 245-pound guy right up the middle, and he ran through people. And Tyron Smith's like, actually, watch this.
I mean, right now, all you can do is it's Pittsburgh. Davante Adams is in the building.
Let's go. Win.
It's not an easy game, but it's a winnable game. I mean, Pittsburgh is well coached. They got a good defense, but they're not a great team. I mean, Pittsburgh's a beatable team.
No, they don't have a great quarterback, but they're 4-2 because look what they've done. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They beat the Broncos. Jets couldn't. They went out there and beat the Raiders, who aren't any good. Like, the Jets handled their business against the Broncos and handled their business either last night against the Vikings. Everything's different,
Yeah, and this is the last thing I wanted to say was the changing of the coaches. Again, I'm not saying it's the wrong move, and I'm not blaming Ulbrich for this loss. But when you change coaches 5 days before the biggest game of the season, it can lead to disorder, right? Like, it's a change, and you had it. I mean, look, I'm not saying the shit was going smooth with Salah. It wasn't. But there certainly seemed to be a little disorder and chaos with all the penalties yesterday. And I'm not blaming that on Ulbrich. He had 5 days to coach the team. But that to me, that's the problem with changing coaches in the middle of the season like that.
Yeah, but I think they would have lost that game with Salah anyway. Like the penalties was a problem with Salah, which is a hallmark.
Right.
What was different yesterday was the offense looked competent between the 20s. Then they got in the red zone and didn't do anything.
And that's the change in play caller too. I mean, the play calling outside of the flea flicker, I mean, I had no problem with the play calling.
By the way, don't think I'm not going to ask you about Michael Clemens. Can you acknowledge he's terrible?
Yeah, that was not that was not good. That was not good. That was not good.
But he's from Texas, so it's all fine.
I mean, like we can. I said this to, I forget who it was in the Discord. I can show you Canelo's performance his last fight, right? It was brilliant. I can break down the tape and I can show you 50 things he could have did differently, could have did better. Like, yeah, if you break down,
are you seriously going to try and compare one of the greatest boxers of all time to Michael Clemens?
No, but the thing is, I can show you 50 things Canelo could have did differently in that fight, which was a masterpiece.
So the answer is yes, you are. Okay.
I compare him how? How am I comparing him? I'm saying you can take a great performance and show flaws in it.
Do not ever put Canelo Alvarez and Michael Clemens in the same sentence ever again. All right? I don't know anything about boxing compared to you, Gary. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I do know Canelo is one of the greats of all time, and Michael Clemens is ass. And only you could try and compare the two. Good God, man. I mean, I can't do it. I can't. This team is actually killing me. Michael Clemens is terrible. He should not be playing. All right? Everyone knows it except the Jets. And if Jeff Ulbricht's serious about accountability, his ass should not be on the field next week. I'm not going to kill Ulbricht for one game. He was in a tough spot, and I think players play, man. This was a game on the players. But good God. DeRhino, can't lie, makes Halloween way more interesting. I believe DeRhino's a Texans fan. I'm not even thinking about Halloween, DeRhino. Thinking about beating the Steelers and somehow having a season. Don with the super chat. Thank you, Don. Allison writes in, did you guys hear the news? Adams is a Jet. Raiders let him go, but the Jets have to pay the rest of this contract, whatever he has. Heart emoji. The Jets got Davante Adams? John writes in, a holding call, BS defensive PI, 2 doinks, missed fumble, 2 missed sacks that turned into a Bills touchdown. Garrett Wilson dropped the touchdown, wrong route, death by paper cuts. I mean, it was just, it was an agonizing loss. It really was. We've all experienced our fair share of brutal Jet losses. This was right up there with any of them. Any of them. Kyle Clifton. Michael Clemens is more like Jordan. I'm sure that's Gary's next call. Actually, Gary's going to call back. I was watching the tape of Muhammad Ali. I see a lot of Michael Clemens in him. 25. No, Clemens and Kinlaw need to go yesterday. Yeah. And look, when they made the Kinlaw signing, I was willing to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt because they've had a lot of track records with, former first-round picks and maximizing them. That hasn't been a good signing. The way this defensive line room has been put together is not good enough. This whole thing just sucks, man. Ant with a super chat. Thank you, Ant. 91 cents away from my subway ride to Yankee Stadium later. 25 says, no, I already read that one. Big fella, Clemens sits. Who are they putting in his place? I would play Leonard Taylor over him. Why not? From what I saw from Leonard Taylor this year, it can't be worse. He's made some plays. More calls right now. Let's say hello to JJ, who went to the game last night, took one of our great listeners, Zach Johnson, and you guys saw one of the more despicable losses in a long time. Hello, JJ.
I don't really think it was that despicable of a loss. It was pretty much the way that we always lose. So, but I will say I'm still bricked up, and I'm super positive and excited about
What is
what
wrong
we're
with
about to.
every time I think I know you, you negative Jet fans that call the show, you somehow spin it positive when you're supposed to be the negative guy. Don't give me this. You're just zigging because everyone else is zagging.
No, I'm not actually, because when I watched that game yesterday, I saw a lot of the same things that we always saw in terms of the penalties and being undisciplined, which lets me know there was a cultural problem that's not going to get fixed overnight. However, Todd Downing being in charge of the play calling made a significant difference. And if we got into the red zone four or five times, all we had to do was score one touchdown and we win that game. I mean, that's a lot better than the results that we have been seeing prior. So I'm ready, man. Like, we just got Davante Adams. If we can get JJ Redick, I know his name is Hassan. That's a joke. But if we can get JJ Redick too, oh my God, like, let's go. We still have a long season ahead of us. All we got to do is finish 8-3 over these next 11 games, and we're right back in the playoffs. And I think we'll be a scary team. So I'm ready, man. Like, I don't know why everyone's calling in all doom and gloom, all negative. If we had Robert Saleh as the head coach, yeah, the season would be over. But we don't have Robert Saleh anymore. We have a competent head coach who's going to make people hold.
Based on what? They lost.
We lost by 3 points because our kicker missed two field goals, and Mike Williams ran the wrong route at the end, and which caused us an interception. I mean, we're right there, Jake. I don't know what else to tell anybody, but we're right there. We don't have to worry about Robert Saleh anymore. We're moving in the right direction. I don't care what anybody says. And if you guys all want to be like how I was last year, that's on you guys. But I'm telling you right now, last year there was no hope because we had no quarterback. And you guys wanted me to, after we beat the Giants, barely stay positive when we had no quarterback. Now we have Aaron Rodgers. Now we just got Davante Adams. And everybody wants to act like
they're 2-4.
Listen, in 2 weeks, we will be 4-4. Mark my words. In 2 weeks, we will be 4-4. We're going to turn the season around. All right. Let's go. Like, I don't know. We got Davante Adams, and this. I feel like I'm watching a funeral on this show today. I'm dressed in black. So, I mean, I guess I'm dressed for the occasion, but we just got Davante Adams. Are you guys crazy? This is what everyone wanted, right? It's time, baby. And guess what? Davante Adams means we can run the football because you can't stack the box because you got Garrett Wilson on the left, Davante on the right, Alan Lazard who's starting to catch passes, Mike Williams if he's still on the team. I mean, what do you got? What are defenses going to do? We are going to stress defenses out. We are going to run the ball, which is going to open up the play action. Davante Adams is going to know how to run that route. Oh my God, you guys are crazy, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's time. It's time. We're going to be 4-4 in 2 weeks. That's what I'm telling you right now, Jake. 4-4 in 2 weeks. King Lowski, don't ever call in that down again. That's not you. That's me. That's the old me. Don't be like that, King Lowski. Come on, baby. We got Davante Adams, and King Lowski said, I don't even care we got Davante Adams. Who? Don't get brainwashed, baby. We here. This is now the time for us to stay positive in the midst of a loss. Not last year when we had no quarterback and no hope. We have a quarterback. And let me tell you something about our O-line. Listen, there's hope. If Tyron, you can't get it together, we drafted a first-round left tackle. Like, what are we talking about? Come on, guys. Like, now's not the time to give up. And take it from me, because I know when it's time to give up. I know when it's time to jump off the ship. Right now is not the time to do it. Ulbrich under one game is not going to change the bad culture. Now, if we still look like this against Pittsburgh, then I'll say, okay, yeah, maybe it's over. But one game, and we looked exactly, for the most part, we look like the same team. So that's a cultural thing. Ulbrich needs some time to change the culture, which I think he is. This film session, people are going to get roasted. Even at the end of the press conference, if you listen to the way he talked, night and day versus Salah, people are going to be held accountable. And you guys, like, come on, let's go, baby. Let's go. I want to do a Jets chant, but we lost, so I can't. Because we lost, but let's go. Like now's the time.
What is wrong with you, man? This is.
I will say, I think.
What universe are we in?
And I will say though, I think that the wind excuse for the missed field goals was bogus because the wind wasn't that bad, but it was freezing. I couldn't even feel my fingers half of that game. So that wind excuse was bogus. But I know that with the coach we have, he's going to hold these guys accountable. He's not going to come out and be like, yeah, it was really windy. That's why he missed those kicks. No, he's going to hold these guys accountable. He's not going to make any excuses about it being cold, rainy, wet. He's going to hold these guys accountable. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yo, take me to Sunday. I might be going to the Pittsburgh game. I don't know if I'll see you at T-Squared because I might be in Pittsburgh because I feel like we're going to win. I feel like we're going to beat Justin Fields' butt, and then Russell Wilson's going to have to come in. He'll throw us a couple of interceptions. Where's King Lowski? Should somebody get King Lowski back on? Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm out.
How was the game with Zach Johnson, who you took? Oh, he's gone. I did get this sent to me, though, from Zach.
Let's get it, boys. Let's get it, boys. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go.
Unreal. JJ did a nice thing yesterday. That was very cool that he brought Zach to the game with him. For those who missed the show, but man. Garrett Wilson has tweeted, "We got to go, and we got to do it now." All right, man. Look. Let's go. Woody Johnson's actually speaking at the league meetings in Atlanta, which I didn't even know were going on. He said, quote, "Status quo is a killer. You have to go with your instinct and build a culture." Said he's encouraged by last night's game and excited about Davante. He'll open everything up. Encouraged. Just win, man. I mean, I like that Garrett's balling. Garrett Wilson's now the best slot receiver in the NFL, by the way, just so you know. He's going to absolutely cook next to Davante. It's just, can this defense stop the run? Can they protect the quarterback? They should win on Sunday. They're better than Pittsburgh. They really are. It's just, I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm confident going into this game because I don't know how you can be. I can't be like JJ guaranteeing they're going to win the next two. Steven writes in, "I feel you today, Jake. Lots of head shaking and disbelief at this point, but this is what we do. Wait, now I just heard JJ call. WTF is that? Stunning. Big fella, holy shit, I agree with JJ. I'm bricked up." John says, "What happens when we face a good running back and not a backup?" I mean, we're going to try and outscore some teams now. Right? That's it. Rodgers was very good last night. That is encouraging. Woody Johnson on making a trade despite the 2-4 start. You know, thinking is overrated. You have to look forward. We have to look forward to the games we're going to play each and every week and try to win them. You just have to go with your instinct and what's best to build a team. Breaking, Steelers will give Russell Wilson first-team reps this week as he'll likely make his season debut and start Sunday night against the Jets. You know what? I'll tell you what. I actually would prefer to face Russell Wilson. Justin Fields could give this defense fits with his ability to run. They beat Russell Wilson last year in Denver. I actually would prefer to play Russ. Maybe that's famous last words. The Jets could lose to anyone, as we've seen. They lost to Bo Nix. But so we got a lot of shit happening right now, man. It is always something with this team. These comments from Woody are wild. Whatever. He paid up. Jets owner Woody Johnson again denies Aaron Rodgers had input in Saleh's firing. I make the decisions. The Steelers are making a quarterback change at 4-2. Tells you what they think of Fields there. Jeez. C, best call JJ's ever had. Dre, you know it's the end of the days of JJ's the voice of reason. I mean, he's being positive, which I want to be positive too. I don't like to be negative. I usually do lean positive. If anyone's watched, I've been doing this now 4 seasons. Every day. But I can't fake it. This team is killing me. John, Russell Wilson, first team reps. Yep, just saw it. 80s jock. No better, not better than Pittsburgh. Games are not won on paper. They are better than Pittsburgh. We understand games are not won on paper. That's the whole point. From a roster perspective, they are better. Pittsburgh's got a Hall of Fame coach. They have a culture. They're home. It's not going to be easy. How do I know they're better than Pittsburgh? They're actually the betting favorite on the road. John writes in, We haven't had a single bricked up all show. JJ got me all sorts of bricked up. JJ the GOAT. Let's get bricked up. I'm not playing the bricked up drop until they win a game. I can't do it. Joe writes in, First Take said interception was Aaron's fault. I could give a shit, respectfully, about what First Take says. Dre has gifted 5 channel memberships. I lied. I'm a capitalist. Fine, Dre.
Let's get bricked up.
Please win. I want to enjoy Davante Adams. 5 channel members. I don't know who got them. Let me see if I can get it. Mr. Data 3, Cactus Johnny, Sweet Baby Jesus, Justin Jokinen, and Britt all received channel memberships. God. More calls right now. Indy Jets is next. Hello, Indy.
Jake, hey, any idea what Vernon Golston's doing right now? Because can we bring him back over and let Michael Clemens go to Home Depot?
Vernon Golston. God.
You know, I'm to the point where that's where I'm at. Bring him back. I mean, even Rex Ryan couldn't get Vernon Golston on the field, and I'd still take him over what Michael Clemens is doing right now. He just looks completely lost out there.
He's terrible, but don't tell that to Gary. He'll tell you he's Canelo Alvarez, whatever the fuck that means.
Well, we all know about gas station pizza and whatever. I don't know, but. How long has it been, Jake, since we've had 2 wide receivers over 100 yards, a running back over 100 yards, and a quarterback that, in essence, threw for 300 yards? I mean, how many years has that been?
Probably 2015 is the last time the Jets had that in the game. I'd have to look it up, but that's why losing this game last night is killing me.
Yes.
If I would have told every Jet fan before the game, Rodgers would throw for basically 300 yards, have a 100 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, 2 wide receivers would go over 100 yards. The running game would produce a 100-yard receiver. By the way, Brees had 170 yards from scrimmage last night, and they lost. No way. No way. It's impossible for them to lose. And then the Jets are like, oh, yeah? Watch this, you assholes, because that's what they did.
Hold my beer. Yeah. No, I'm not blaming. I mean, Albert, come on now. 5 days. There's still some of that Coach Solid culture that left in there. But I would not want to be a Jets player today. The day after that game, because I think
I wouldn't want to be a Jet fan today. Oh wait.
Well, as a Jets fan, I'm kind of agreeing with JJ there. I'm staying positive. I think. By watching that presser after the game, you could see it in Ulbricht's face. He's just as pissed then as you are right now, and that's the first time we've seen that in 4 years.
I hope. I mean, I'm not going to kill Ulbricht. It's one game. He was in a tough spot. I don't think he was the problem. And honestly, Downing called a hell of a game last night. He did. Yep. I'm not saying he's Kyle Shanahan, but you know what? This team had 400 yards of offense. If Tyron Smith doesn't commit a dumb holding penalty, they score a touchdown. The play call with Braylon Allen was excellent. The missed kicks by Zerline took 6 points off the board. I mean, Rodgers said it after the game. They should have put up 30-something points last night. Mike Williams doesn't slip and run the wrong route. They probably tie the game at least, maybe not with Zerline. But the point is, they were good offensively last night. From a coaching standpoint, players play, man. They lost this game because of the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Does that fall on God, I hate to be like Gary. Does that fall on Joe Douglas?
You know who it falls on? Canelo Alvarez. More of your calls right now. John C is next. Hello, John.
What's going on, Jake? What a disgrace this Franco. I mean, what a disgrace. Jake, I always use this analogy to people. The last time the Jets made the playoffs, I was in 2nd grade. I'm now a junior in college. It's an absolute disgrace. I was trying hard enough not to puke after that game last night. I couldn't go to bed. I woke up about 20 times last night thinking about the game. I mean, it's a disgrace. This team does everything they can. They suck the life out of you. They just got Davante Adams. Are you really excited about it? Like, yeah, it's a good trade, but
I'll be excited if
that would make you not excited about landing Adams. It's such a putrid franchise, and also all these people. JJ, I mean, I would love to have what he's smoking. Really, I mean, I would love to have what he's smoking. Oh my gosh! I mean, look, this season is not over. It's not looking good, but it's not over. But he's so easy to say, oh, they're going to be 4-4. What is telling you that right now? They can easily lose again. Look, Russell Wilson starting. I'd rather face Wilson. They lost to Bo Nix. What makes you so confident to say they're going to be 4-4? I mean, it's crazy.
JJ's under the impression that Robert Saleh is the devil, and now with Jeff Ulbrich, who has proven nothing as a head coach, that all of a sudden they're magically going to rattle off 2 in a row.
They fired Saleh. They saw his whole staff on the team. I mean, look, Ulbrich brings some change, I guess, but not really. I mean, look, last night Downing made a difference, right, in the offense. But you're right, Jake. 2 guys having over 100 yards receiving, Brees Hall having over 100 yards rushing, and they still lose.
And the quarterback had a 100-yard quarterback rating for 300 yards, and they lost.
Yeah, Rodgers had a great game, but one play that's not being talked about enough is that delay game penalty after he completed that great pass to Lazard. I feel like that killed the drive there. Rodgers is a little like with the play clock. I understand that he's been doing that his whole career. He gets it down to 0, but he has to be a little more aware in that situation. That killed the 5 yards.
Fair. I think what happens there is with a new play caller, like that was probably the one time that maybe the play didn't get in quick enough. Like it just, you even saw this with Hackett, who he's known forever. Like it's just, I think that's just like you got to deal with that with a new play caller. Like hopefully that's corrected for this week.
Yeah, I mean, and Tyron Smith, what is going on, man? This guy's washed up. I mean, the only concern going into the season was if this guy was going to stay healthy. Now we're concerned about his performance. If he has another bad game next week, I would consider benching him for Fashanu, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like it's in the cards here. I mean, you got to do it. Look, if you lose next week, you're 2-5, and everything's on the table here. Everything. I mean, you got to consider it at this point. And Greg Zorlane, Jake, he should have been cut before midnight last night. He should be cut.
They should have kicker tryouts this week. Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a guy from college last year that could be better than there has to be a guy from college last year that can make a 35-yard field goal. I mean, come on now. Why? And that Ulbrich comment after the game about, oh, Greg's gonna be fine. He's gonna make some big kicks for us. Come on, man. We want some accountability here. This is crazy. I mean,
he's not going to kill Zerline publicly, but they should have kicker tryouts this week.
Yeah.
Put some pressure on Zerline, and maybe you find someone better. I mean, Zerline has you didn't want to panic in the preseason, but he missed some kicks there. He shanked the kick against New England. It didn't matter because they blew him out that night. He was bad against Denver. You want to say, oh, it's a monsoon. Okay, fine. I don't give me the wind last night. Yeah. All right. He missed a 32-yarder. Don't give me the wind.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And these people with wearing a Joe Douglas jersey, are you on crack, man? I mean, this guy, look, he's made some good moves, and he's also made some horrible moves, hiring Saleh, drafting Zach Wilson. I mean, come on now. Look, this is a result-orient league. I don't want to hear, oh, it was a great trade for Adams. I don't want to hear it. I don't. You brought him here, great. It's a desperation move, Jake. I don't care what you say about it. It's a desperation move because he knows his ass is going to get fired if they don't make the playoffs.
Well, it's also the right move, though, John.
No, it is. It is. But I don't want to sit here. I don't want to praise him for that move because they're not getting wins here.
I'm not praising him. I'm simply saying I could separate the fact that like Joe Douglas has not done a good enough job. He should be held accountable. And also acknowledge it is the right move to bring in Davante Adams, but
it is.
I'm not giving him credit for that move. Is my point? Like, oh, you got Davante for a 3rd round pick, great.
Yeah.
Like that's not that complicated.
We all could have made the move.
I've been saying for months it would be a 3rd round pick when they made the deal in April to get an extra 3rd from the Lions in the draft. I said that's going to be used in the Davante trade months from now, and I was right.
And another thing is, too, the one thing that was holding up the deal was that the Raiders wanted the team paying all of his money. Why not do it next week then? If the Jets caved today from doing it, why not make the trade last week? That was holding it up. That's one thing that you could criticize him for. Now you're making the move?
Fair. The only thing I'll say is maybe they came off the 2nd round pick after last week. We don't know for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, who gets credit for the Davante move? The owner, because the owner's paying the rest of the salary. So fine.
Yeah. I mean, Woody Johnson in the comments today, man. I mean, this franchise is a circus. I'm always a half glass full. Always a positive guy. Always make spin positive. I'm texting people today. Oh, the Jets can make a run here, and trying to like whatever I could tell myself to cope a little bit. I'm always that guy. But really, man, they make it hard for me to do it, man. And Jake, big Yankee win last night. I'm a huge fan, and the Jets, of course, ruined that for us, right?
I couldn't even enjoy it. And like,
right?
I'm going tonight. I hope
you're going tonight. Enjoy the game, man. Yeah. They're gonna go up 2-0. Cole's gonna pitch 8 innings shutout ball tonight, and you're gonna be a little healed from the Jets' loss last night. That's my. But I know it's hard. It's hard, man. I couldn't sleep last night. It's brutal. This franchise. I think I've lost about 10 years off my life this year alone.
John, you're too young, man. You're too. The fact that
I am.
Second grade when this team was in the playoffs kills me.
It's crazy. It's Jake, it's a circus, but let's win Pittsburgh, right? Let's do it.
John, great call, man. Yeah, look. It's just I couldn't enjoy the Yankee win the way I should. I'll say this again about Davante Adams. Getting Davante Adams is the right move. I am not giving credit to the general manager for making this move. Davante Adams is a Jet because Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. That's why. It was a third-round pick. I've been saying for months that's what it would be. If it ends up being a second-round pick, you'd gladly sign for that because that means the Jets probably made the playoffs. Once again, the stipulations on the trade for those who are tuning in late. Adams must be first or second team AP All-Pro or on the active roster for an AFC Championship game or Super Bowl. Please. Sign me up for the second scenario here. AFC Championship game. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy was in the building last night. Purple Belt Mike is next. Hello, Mike.
What's up, man? Just mowing my lawn. I wanted to call in and just brutally destroy the Jets because every time I go to a game, it's just brutal. And I don't even know why I bother at this point to spend the money and the time and the effort to watch them lose these games. But then they trade for Davante, and now I got a mixed bag of how I feel because I'm not really sure if I should be excited. I have no reason to believe that they're going to win. But I don't that can have actually they actually are the only team to have almost 400 yards offense, 2 receivers over 100, a running back over 100 yards, only give up 23 points and lose the game. They're the first team in NFL history to do that. So another record for the Jets. Unreal, man. We can't get it right. No matter what we do, we just can't get it right. We have a great kicker that sucks now. We have a great left tackle that sucks now. It's hard for me to. I don't know, man. It sucks. Fucking sucks.
Mike is brutal. I mean, it's just baffling because the only concern with Tyron Smith was would he be able to stay on the field? You can't criticize that move. Like the guy was a second team All-Pro last year. Greg Zuerlein, go look at his stats the last 2 years. This guy was a top 5 kicker in the league. Only the Jets this happens to, man. I'm telling you, only the Jets this happens to. Name me another team this happens to. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. Like, the magic of Aaron Rodgers is competing with whatever deal the Jets have with the devil. That's what we're seeing. And the devil's winning right now. Nick Farias said that last night. I read it on the show. He's right. Dre Day says, we don't need him at Home Depot. Hell no. This in reference to Michael Clemens. Dre Day, for those who watch the show regularly, is a phenomenal Home Depot employee. So you don't want Clemens as a coworker? I get it. How about Gary as a coworker? You want him? First, last agency. Run defense needs to step up. Offense will keep moving the ball now with Adams. Red zone will be better. I hope. Can they protect Aaron Rodgers? That's my concern now, right? They're going to add Davante, and then Aaron's going to get hurt. TJ Watt closing out on him this week. They win Sunday, we could talk about a season. Nothing matters unless they win. Darth Crypto, JJ wins Most Improved Fan of the Year award. I think he's on drugs. Adam is too cool is next. Hello, Adam.
Hey, how's it going, Jake? How you hanging?
Hanging in, Adam. What do you got for us?
All right. Well, the only thing that could have made this game worse is if Codrington returned a punt or a kickoff or a touchdown to win the game.
You're right.
That would have been the worst part of it. But, I think I speak for a lot of fans. Wash your jerseys. The stink comes out. And there'll be a regression to the mean at some point because there's so many mistakes to only lose by like 10 points is crazy. So I'm going to go wash my jersey, and it's going to smell nice, and we're going to start fresh, and hopefully with Davante, everything's going to click.
You know what? From your lips to God's ears, Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard from JJ earlier. The listener who JJ took to the game, a college student by the name of Zach Johnson. Hello, Zach.
Yo, what's up, Jake? What's going on?
Zach, how was the experience with JJ?
It was I know we played like some hot ass. Sorry for cursing. But I actually did have a really good time. JJ was very welcoming. A shout out to JJ. Appreciate you, bro. I had a great time. Thank you for taking me. I just had a great time, man. It was awesome.
And then the game started.
And then the game started. I was very distraught on my way home last night. I called in, but it got too late, and I just had to go to bed. I was just so tired. But I feel like we could have won that game. We definitely could have. It was in our hands, and the Tyron Smith holding call that called back the touchdown, the 2 field goals that we missed, we could have easily been up by 10 points, easily. And this team just needs to wake up. We have Davante Adams now. It's time to order a Davante Adams jersey, baby. Let's go.
Zach, God bless.
Let's get it, boys. Let's get it, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
I needed more of a can smash from you, though, Zach, if I'm going to be a little critical.
I don't know why it wasn't. I was trying to smash it against my head, but it wasn't going. It's whatever.
You want a brick instead?
I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. Shout out JJ. I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go.
I appreciate it, Zach. I'm glad you had the opportunity to go to JJ. JJ is a good guy. He might be on drugs after his most recent call, but he's a good guy. Michael's up next. Hello, Michael.
Oh, Jake. I couldn't call in last night. I couldn't. You had that one caller who said all the older Jet fans like Joe B, you guys seen it all. How have we done it? I don't know how we done it. That game was ours to win. I'm concerned about you, Jake. I mean, you need some blood pressure medication right now, because I got to tell you, I've never seen you like this in all the years that I've been watching. I've never seen you like this.
It's just we went through last year to get to this year, and to see this year playing out how it has at 2-4 with this much talent, it's killing me. Like, because if it doesn't work now, when are we ever winning? When are we ever winning?
Well, unfortunately, how long it took you to cut Gary off. I'm surprised it took you that long. Okay. But the one guy with the Joe Douglas jersey, I'm like, okay, first of all, who does that? Who puts the GM on a jersey? I have never seen that in my life. Okay.
That's the great Nate parentheses Nate, baby.
Right. Listen, I understand Douglas. I understand the pros and cons. Okay. But with this trade of Davante Adams, and he's here for 2 years, like you said, and Rodgers is going to be here, he's not going anywhere. I'm telling you, okay?
No, he's here for next year, too. I completely agree with that.
Okay, and Reddick, okay, first of all, he's going to go seek a trade. No one's going to give him the long-term deal, and his new agents are going to say, listen, it's enough. Go play 1 year and make your money. Perform, and then you'll get it next year, because no team's going to trade and give him his long-term deal. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why the Jets got him for basically nothing, a conditional third in 2026, was because no one wanted to pay him. So I don't see this like robust market for him. Now, I think the Jets would take less to move him because they're absorbing Davante's full contract. I think it's why they're giving him permission to at least seek a trade. But you know what I hope happens? Hassan Reddick plays for the Jets and helps them win on Sunday night. That's what I hope happens.
Well, exactly, because I believe now that Douglas really thought he had a deal in place. Okay, and Hassan, he went back on his word.
Well, correct, because his agents fired him. So obviously his agents felt like the Jets made their best offer. They did the best they could trying to get whatever they got from the Jets. And Hassan said no. And this has now been one of the stupidest holdouts in the history of sports.
Yeah, and with all these penalties, I think the play calling was great yesterday. But that one play to Conklin, okay, you're telling me that wasn't a lead with the head defenseless receiver? He went into him hard, no flag. I mean, come on. We're
talking about are you talking about the play with Ruckert over the middle where he got hit?
No. Conklin had the ball knocked out. What's his name? Number 9 went with his head. It would have been a first down. It was like the last drive. Conklin had a ball thrown to him like 20 yards, 25 yards, and the guy led with his head.
I'll have to watch it back. Yeah,
when you watch, you'll see it. How is that not a flag? I mean,
everything was a flag last night. You know, there was no the officiating was abysmal last night. It was horrible.
No, and I had it all set for next Sunday, Jets and Mets. Had it all set, ready to
Everyone,
go.
by the way, Mike, everyone's saying it's Ruckert you're referring to. If you're talking about the Ruckert play, I thought they could have called a penalty there because they called a penalty on everything else, but that wasn't called.
Right. I mean, the PIs, the balls are uncatchable, and some of the holding penalties were tick for tack. Because let's face it, it wasn't only the Jets with 10 penalties. It was also Buffalo.
No,
so
but the difference is the Bills hit field goals. The Jets didn't. The Bills we got in the red zone. They scored touchdowns. The Jets didn't. The Jets should have won by 2 scores last night.
I agree. Jake, I agree with you. I just want you to know I'm concerned about you. And listen. I love this trade. I wish it would have happened earlier in the week, but I agree. The Raiders probably just said we can't take a second. We have to come down from our demands. So I really think with Davante there, it's going to open up a lot. It's really going to open up a lot, But I'll tell you, my best friend, he has Wilson as fantasy. He said goodbye to that. There goes his numbers.
No, I see. I'll tell you what, Michael. I actually think Garrett's going to still continue to be producing. Like you saw, Alan Lazard have over 100 yards last night, and Garrett Wilson. The difference is Lazard's numbers go down now. Garrett's not affected by this. I think if you got Garrett Wilson on your fantasy team, he's going to put up good numbers now. He's going to be lethal in the slot. He is the best slot receiver in the NFL right now. They use him there. I mean, we saw it last night. How many free releases did Garrett Wilson get and just cooked guys? He looked like Garrett Wilson last night. My only knock on Garrett, and you guys know he's my favorite player on the team. I love Garrett. I've met him personally. He's a great dude. And he said it after the game, so I'm not saying anything out of school here. He has to hold on to that ball in the end zone. I know he took a shot. He's got to hold on to the ball. His numbers don't get affected by Davante, though. Lazard's numbers go down. Mike Williams, I mean, he had no numbers last night. Didn't have a catch. His numbers, lack thereof, there's probably less production there. Garrett's going to put up numbers. He's going to be fun. More of your calls right now. Doug in his room. Hello, Doug.
Man, sometimes I wish I didn't care so much about this football team. It brings me so much pain. And I know you felt it last night too. We couldn't even enjoy the Yankee win last night. It's hard to enjoy the Davante Adams trade. I wish this team didn't affect my emotions so goddamn much. I really do. This team has such a stranglehold on my life. And I bet you wish sometimes it didn't either.
I mean, what I hate is how great this fan base is, and we never get rewarded for our loyalty, our passion. It's just, it's brutal, man. This actually, I didn't think it'd be possible. This actually is hurting more than last year because this team is good. They should not be 2-4.
No,
I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team, but they shouldn't be 2-4. They should at least be 500, if not 4-2.
It's absolutely insane. But Ferry had a good tweet earlier, right after the Adams trade. The year the Cowboys traded for Amari Cooper, they were 3-5 before they traded for him, and then they went on a run. So hopefully this is the final spark.
Green Bay was 2-5 last year. Then they were the hottest team in the NFL.
So
but these teams have pedigree. We have nothing. That's what sucks.
I agree, and this team is just cursed. And I know you said we got a winnable schedule, Sonia, but you can't say winnable schedule with this team because all the last few games we played are winnable. But the Steelers, they always play down to competition, and then you have the Patriots who, if we lose to the Patriots, I'm just giving up. I can't see that happening. But you got winnable games coming up. Figure it out. Figure out a way just to get back to 500 and then move from there. That's I have a buddy who's a good Jets fan. He said the season's over. I said if we lose, my breaking point will be Sunday night. If we lose Sunday night, I don't know how we come back from that. I really don't. I'm holding out my last little strip of hope. I try to be positive. And again, it sucks that, we could have had the New York sweep yesterday. The Jets were the one who ruined the New York sweep. All the New York sports teams besides the Jets won yesterday.
Yeah, it cost me $600. I mean, we had the New York parlay yesterday going.
It was also the Rangers and Islanders even won yesterday, and the Devils.
I know. Literally, every team in the city won yesterday besides the New York Jets.
Again, it sucks. I can't enjoy the Yankees potential World Series run. I really can't enjoy it last night. I do think they'll go up 2-0 tonight with Coleman. But it sucks that I'm not able to enjoy my teams doing great things because the one I love the most just keeps on kicking me in the dick. That's really what goes on, and it's just brutal.
Well, Doug, I hope you wore a cup because there's gonna be more kicks in the dick coming your way. Rooting for this team. I really hate this team. I do. I love this fan base. I love the people that support this channel. I hate this team. Like they are really testing my love for football. I mean, it's just and that game last night, from a watchability standpoint, was about as brutal of a watch as you could have because of the ref show. First Last Agency gifted a channel membership. Congrats if you got it. Dre Day goes, I would take Gary, but I wouldn't go to lunch with him. I guess you don't like gas station pizza. More of your calls right now.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children!
How about that 2-score win by the Jets last night, Alan?
Morning, Jake. How are you?
How do I look?
First of all, to all the Jet fans, please stop with the AJ Epinesa hate, okay? Kid's a stud. Thank you very much. I was not going to call in until I saw my good buddy Nate with that Joe Douglas shirt, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I heard Mr. Big Fella on the bed, and then I heard the AI version of JJ, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay. What pissed me off was a couple things. Going into yesterday, you come off of 2 losses, you fire your coach, you get outclassed and outperformed in those games, and it was the right move to fire Saleh. You take a 3-0 lead yesterday, should have been 7-0, but it was 3-0. And you let Ray motherfucking Davis and that offense dog walk you straight down the field against an absolute dog shit defensive line and score. And to me, that was the tone setter of the game yesterday. And I love the Adams move, but it doesn't fix the problems on both your offensive and your defensive lines. It just doesn't do it. And you talk about accountability. Can you explain to me how Michael Clemens, on the final defensive play that meant anything, was on the field to set the edge against Josh Allen? That was absolute dog shit. Everybody and their mother knew that ball was going to be his. And he went right around him like there was nobody there. And I love Gary. Gary, please, the Canelo Clemens debate, please, enough, okay? My second point.
What do you mean? Michael, you watch Michael Clemens play, he doesn't remind you of Canelo Alvarez?
Oh, what a piece of garbage. And my second point is about the GM, okay? I know we've been talking about 29-60, and everybody's like, oh, he's brought in a lot of talent. There's so much talent on this team. Sometimes you have to look at the team, and maybe there isn't maybe there isn't as much talent as you think. You look at some of the rooms they have a below average tight end room. I really believe they have a below average tight end room. They have one of the worst safety rooms in the league. Okay. To me right now, they have one of the worst defensive line rooms. Okay. You could not tell me Takk McKinley, Eric Watts, and Michael Clemens should be starters anywhere. Okay. And yet people like Nate are so confident in this GM. Are they going to wait till
real quick?
10?
Real quick. I'll let you finish. The only thing I will say about the D-line room is Jermaine Johnson's injury is brutal because that would have been Jermaine in that spot, not Michael Clemens there.
You made the trade for Hassan Reddick and he's not here. That's
correct.
The problem.
And have I at any point given Joe Douglas a pass for that on this show? No.
And I know you want to blow a gasket. I can see your face. I hear you listening to the big fella and Nate and JJ. You're like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Okay. But the problem is it's year 6 and they're 29-60. When is enough enough? If this team does not make the playoffs and they retain this general manager, then what the fuck is the point? I don't get it. I don't understand how people continue to give this GM a pass. And what worried me about going into this season, and I was in favor of the Tyron Smith move, but again, the move was made because they fucked up the Tristan Wirfs Mekhi Becton deal. Okay, Tristan Wirfs should be our left tackle. You go make a trade for Tyron Smith, and you're right. I think he's washed. And if I am Ulbrich, I would start Fashanu at left tackle on Sunday. I really would. He was so bad yesterday. He couldn't make a block. Epinesa went around him like he wasn't even there. I just don't understand the positivity coming out of that game. They lost to 3 teams by a combined 10 points. 3 teams that, in my opinion, they are at least a touchdown better than talent.
Okay, so that's the point where we're at right now, right? If you believe that, now go beat Pittsburgh and start your season. Like, it's all on the line now. You know what I mean? Like you're right. They should be better than 2-4. They're not. Go beat Pittsburgh and start the season. If not, none of this matters because they are better than the 3 teams they just played. You will not be able to convince me otherwise. They're not just as good, if not better, than the 3 teams they just played, including the team last night that's probably going to win the division. You can't tell me the Jets don't belong on the same field as the Bills. They were better than the Bills last night. So it's like, go beat the Steelers and start the season. You made the move for Adams. You're all in. This quarterback played well last night. Protect him. Go win the game on Sunday and start the season. That's where they're at.
But you cannot convince me that this offensive line against Pittsburgh's defensive line is going to be able to stop them. You just can't.
No, run the football.
To me, that's
run
a
the football.
13-9.
Yeah,
to me,
I
that's
agree
a
with you.
13-9 game next week. And I think their offensive line is going to get absolutely shredded against that defense. I really do. I worry about A-Rod next week. I truly do. I think TJ Watt is going to absolutely wreak havoc against that offensive line. I don't see anything differently. And when I saw that the Jets were 1.5-point favorites, I almost fell on the floor. I could not believe it. But again, you could talk about talent all you want. You're 2-4 where you should be 5-1. Okay? That's a reflection on a loser organization from top to bottom. And again, you can talk about positivity all you want. You're 2-4 for a reason. You don't know how to win games.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
I agree. So, like, win on Sunday, or what are we talking about? I mean, I literally said on the show yesterday, this is going to be like a 13-9 type of game. It's going to be an ugly game. I would not expect the offense to look great against the Steelers defense that's allowing 14 points per game right now. Davante helps you, but he doesn't help you block. They got the running game going a lot better last night. You're going to have to run the football, protect Aaron Rodgers, and this defense has got to show up and stop the run. You know, hopefully Russell Wilson turns it over a couple times like he did last year against the Jets because it feels like he's starting. Dark Knight Steve with a super chat. He cuts the line. Allen's right. Joe Douglas brought in a lot of talent, but has let a lot of talent go. Season's over unless they can bring an offensive line and D-line help. Can't stop the run. Can't keep 8 upright. Large sigh. I mean, I don't know what moves they're making to the D-line unless it's Hassan Reddick at this point. That's the problem. Your O-line help is you drafted a first-round left tackle. He might need to play this week. At his natural position. I mean, the Tyron Smith being washed is like, I can't even fathom that. He was a second-team All-Pro last year. Not a Pro Bowler, All-Pro. The concern with Tyron Smith was, well, he can't play. It's no. We knew he was not going to be out there for every game because he's going to get hurt. He's healthy and he can't play now. He cost them a game last night. And the kicker, who didn't miss for 2 years, hit every kick in shit weather, rain, wind. I was at a lot of these games. I was at the Bears game 2 years ago. He had a 57-yarder before halftime that day in a monsoon. It was with my dad at that game. I was at the game against the Giants with Benigno last year. He hit that game and stole that one. And now he can't hit anything. This team has 2 more wins if they have a kicker right now. It's disgusting they're 2-4. They don't know how to win. Players play, man. Last night's on the players. You know, Mike Williams runs the right route. They win. I'm so disgusted, man. It's unacceptable. I'm glad they got Davante. It's the right move, but their season's over if they lose to Pittsburgh now. So they better win. Somehow the Jets being a favorite in this game, by the way, is a joke. I would expect that line to move. I think by the time we get the kickoff, Pittsburgh's going to be a 1 or 2 point favorite. They should be. They're home, and they have Mike Tomlin. That should be enough. Anyone questioning Mike Tomlin, that guy somehow goes above 500 every year. Every year. Oh, it's disgusting. They lost this game last night. Once again, I'm going to play this again because this is just a microcosm of this the nonsense that we put up with as Jet fans.
All right, so the final interception, late game last night. Where's the execution need to be better? What's Rodgers talking about post-game when he's saying, hey, I'm expecting Mike to be on a red line, taking their shot downfield? All the details attached to it. Again, a massive part of this is the details of offensive execution. Okay, so number one, when Aaron's talking about the red line, every team essentially has a red line that is painted from end zone to end zone, and it will go 5 yards from the sideline. So up here, 5 yards from the sideline, and it'll be painted all the way down the field. And when they throw vertical shots outside, you tell the wide receiver, hold the red line, stay on the red line. And so then there's space to drift that wide receiver towards the sideline. Okay, so that's when Aaron's saying, I'm expecting him to be on a red line. He's expecting Mike to be out here. Okay, so that's the premise of when he says, hold the red line. He's expecting Mike to be out here 5 yards from the sideline. Okay, so now why? Why would that be the case? Number one, you're expecting Buffalo to be in some form of a 2 deep safety defense, which is what they spin to. Taron Johnson spins back. 2 deep safeties, meaning you're deep and you're deep. All right, this safety, DeMar Hamlin, spun down into that middle linebacker run through. Now, 2, the alignment. You have the slot receiver on the ball, the outside receiver off the ball. Why? You want this receiver to get vertical as quickly as possible to threaten that half-field safety, okay? That 2 deep half-field safety. You want this receiver on the outside to be 5 yards behind this receiver. You're trying to put this guy in stress. If they're both here at the same depth, there's not enough stress. You want this safety to feel that speed down the field and that I have to go cover him and almost void that really deep half priority or rule and play this receiver. And as this safety leaves, you want this then receiver to replace. Okay. So you want that disparity. That's perfect right there. The only problem is you want Mike here. You want Mike to be about 6 or 7 yards wider. Now, if Mike is 6 or 7 yards wider, then you've really got something cooking. Now, is this ball going to be underthrown? Absolutely. But you don't mind the underthrow. If Mike, I promise you, if Mike is here, he's going to go make this catch. He's not going to slip. He's not going to need, the adjustment is going to be outside in rather than rolling over inside out. So that's exactly what happens. This is a really good play call. It's really good protection. It's fantastic by the slot. You get the safety to do exactly what you want. You just need Mike, after he gets to here, to widen. You need him to strain for width to get to there. If he does that, I believe he doesn't slip. It's an outside in rather than an inside out adjustment. And I think his size goes and makes that catch.
And they win. But let's blame the quarterback. So lazy. Like, seriously. Aaron Rodgers has given this team better quarterback play than we've seen in a decade. I don't want to hear it. Thank God that ball's going to Davante this week if the same situation exists. I bet you he catches it. Oh, I'm so disgusted. I really am. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Kyle Clifton. Hello, Kyle.
What's going on, Jake?
Pain.
Well,
Mike Williams definitely made a mistake there. But it would be the most Jetsian thing ever to give up on him after 6 games in 2 games where he didn't really play, and 4 games where we were, for the first 2 of the rest of the 4 games, we were clamoring for him to get the ball more. I think
last night he got a chance to make an easy catch. He dropped it, and then on the game-winning drive, he's running the wrong route, and it cost him.
Listen, these guys they're not machines, but all I'm saying is he's going to be a better option for us going forward than Lazard, right? You put Davante on the outside, you put him on the outside. Now Williams is your third option, right? He can actually catch the ball, and like you were saying before, you have Wilson on the inside getting all these free releases. That can be very dynamic. Regardless of, if our offensive line is middle of the pack backwards, we should be able to run the ball a little bit. He should be able to cook Rodgers. I don't understand the desire to give up on Williams this quickly. This guy was a number 1 and a number 2's body in San Diego, and that's why we went and got him. Lazard, he has good chemistry with Rodgers. He's perfectly slotted as a 4. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it really matters because I don't think Aaron Rodgers necessarily trusts Mike Williams because he has now twice not been on the same page with the quarterback at the end of these games. Lazard's on the same page with Rodgers. That makes him, at this point, the more productive player. So I think you will see Alan Lazard more than you will see Mike Williams on Sunday.
But, I mean, all Rodgers says it's a very long season, right? Just because he had a poor rapport with Williams in one game does not mean that in week 8, week 9, he's going to continue to have that poor rapport. This is a guy who's coming back off an ACL. He's been with the team for a couple months now.
I agree if they're 3-3 or they're 4-2 like they should be, and they're not as desperate. Like, you got to play who gives you the best chance to win on Sunday. Right now, it's Alan Lazard.
All right.
I mean, am I wrong? Like, you're facing a virtual must-win on Sunday Night Football this week to avoid going to 2-5.
But Jake, we're talking about trading this guy. Why would we want to do that? That's a different story altogether.
Well, they haven't traded him yet to this point.
No, but I mean, there's people clamoring for it in the comments. It seems like it's a real possibility. It makes 0 sense.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think. Look, if they keep Mike Williams, I'm not going to be upset about it. But right now, Alan Lazard, who's on the same page with his Hall of Fame quarterback, needs to be out there more than Mike Williams does. Your 3 starting receivers should be Garrett Wilson, Davante Adams, and and Alan Lazard.
It won't be the last time we disagree. Have a great show,
Kyle. I appreciate it. Your point on Williams is right. He's obviously had a better career than Alan Lazard, but Lazard right now is playing like the better player. This team needs to win. If I could get something for Mike Williams, I got to think about it. I don't know what you're going to get for him, though. Also, he left this game late with a head injury, too. Is he even healthy right now? I left this game with a head injury, too, by the way. Smashing this brick against my head watching that garbage last night.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Jake, what's up? How you doing?
Living the dream, man. Never been better.
I gotta say this with JJ. Somebody, I'll give him a blood test. Not because I think he's on drugs. I think he just might be the Thing from John Carpenter's Thing, because that's not a normal thing in his personality. I'm just saying, it's like that was a brutal game, and I had the Jets game on, had the Yankees game on the side. And honestly, this season with both teams, I was expecting the Yankees to be the one to disappoint me because they always melt down in the playoffs. But so far, it's been the exact opposite. The Jets are disappointing me, and the Yankees are not. Like, it's just frustrating. Like, how do you slip there? It's like, it's just frustrating. I can't even fathom, and then the bullshit pass on the play that's literally it's not. There's no way no human being, unless they're the size of unless they're as tall as Andre the Giant, can make that catch. Like, no human being is making that catch unless they're that tall. And yet they throw the flag. I'm just like, oh my God, the officiating was just garbage. It's like, and Greg's are like, what the happened? I mean, seriously, you go from being automatic to just whiffing at every possible turn. And yes, the wind was bad, but you have to factor that in. You have to factor in when you're making your kick and adjust for that. And you're missing. It's just the second game we lost because of bad kicking. It's like we were losing everything last year because we didn't have a quarterback. And now we're losing this year because everything else but the quarterback is working. It's just this team finds new ways to infuriate you. And like I said in my super chat earlier, I just feel like the only way that we're going to beat the Steelers is if they do their traditional play down the competition thing because they think that they can overlook an opponent, which they've done time and time again. I mean, look at everybody remembers their playoff meltdown against the Jaguars back in 2017, where they were more busy about settling the score with New England than they were even looking at the Jack than actually worrying about the team in front of them, and they completely melted down to a team which had beaten them already that year. So, like I said, that's the only way I feel like we're going to win this game. I'm being brutally honest. I have to be brutally honest because this is just a frustrating season.
Would you lie to me, V-Man? I think you typically are honest.
I know I'm an honest person.
They call you Honest V-Man, don't they? Or that was Honest Abe, actually.
I'm brutally honest because I hate lying because my father was a compulsive liar.
Sorry to hear that.
Like the dumbest shit he would lie about. For example, one birthday. All right, one birthday I asked for an iPod. He calls me the next day. He says, "Okay, I sent it. It should be there in a week or so." About 4 weeks passes by before it comes. My birthday is August 27th. And this man doesn't have the mental capacity to realize the shipping information comes in the box. So I look at the shipping information, and you know when it says it was ordered? September 8th. Then that's why I fucking hate lying. I just say it straight to my face. Don't lie about things that can be easily disproven.
I agree.
Well, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Hope you have fun at the Yankees game. I wish I had the money for postseason baseball.
V-Man, keep working hard, all right?
All right, peace.
Farewell.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
I can't even enjoy that V-Man call the way I really should. Jets says, we're probably the most crying fan base in the NFL. Should we be happy today? What do you want from this Jet fan base? This is one of the most loyal fan bases in professional sports. What do you want from this fan base? They were supposed to be giddy? Supposed to be happy? Excited? After that? Goodbye. F you. F you. F you too. That's all great. We should be thrilled. We should be giddy. Woo. Cheese Man's next. Hello, Cheese Man.
What's going on, Jake?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. After sleeping on it, it's funny because I'm trying to start calling in more, but I always have so much. There's always so much to say about this team, right? So you get on here and you forget half the things you're even going to talk about. But I feel like this season so far has been a story of coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, pretty much every single game outside of maybe San Francisco has been really winnable. But it just seems like we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. And, it's getting a little exhausting nitpicking every single game. Like, oh, this penalty here, this misplay. If we did this, we would have won. My mindset moving forward is win the damn game. I don't care if it's ugly, if it's pretty. I don't care if we miss 10 kicks. Win the game. And I think that Rodgers and even Lazard to some extent have been a good embodiment of that mindset. I mean, say what you want about Lazard's drops. I'm not saying he's the best receiver in the league by any means, but he seems to be coming in clutch the last couple of weeks. I mean, that Hail Mary catch, he's caught a lot of third downs. The chemistry with Rodgers is there. And, you know, I got to give it to our media team for giving us all this hope the last few years. I mean, productions like One Jets Drive, all of these things we see in the media gives us hope every year. And it just seems like every year we find a way to screw it up.
Well, the thing is, like, it's different with this year because, like, the team has a lot of talent on it. Maybe we've overrated some of it. We couldn't have anticipated Zerline sucking and Tyron Smith looking washed. But it's like, if you watch this game last night, like, the Bills are the best team in the division, supposedly. The Jets should have beat them. You know, like, the Vikings were undefeated. They were 5-0. The Jets should have beaten them. You know, the Denver Broncos come into your building and you lose 10-9 to them. You should have beaten them. Like, this is 3 losses in a row by a combined 10 points. So there was legitimate hope. When they were 2-1 after how well they played against New England, I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams could have imagined they'd lose 3 straight.
Yeah. And 2 of my best friends are Broncos fans. One of the most obnoxious fan bases in the league, from my experience, at least with them. But I was talking to my boys last night, and one of them's a Raiders fan. And I'm like, man, this team just always finds a way to let me down. It's so exhausting. This one really hurts. And he goes, your problem's not rooting for the team. It's thinking that you guys have a chance. And it's just, that's how the rest of the league sees us. And we know the talent that we have on this team. And, you know, talking back to Nate, parentheses Nate, and his Joe Douglas jersey, I mean, if there's one gaping problem with Joe Douglas is that he seems to address one issue and completely ignore another or create a new one. Point being, backup quarterback last year. No excuse to not have a backup quarterback other than Zach Wilson on the roster. The offensive line has obviously been an issue the last couple of seasons. And now this year, we have a defensive line that can't seem to stop the run. And there's a lot of third-round talent for D tackles from what I remember, and defensive linemen that were run stuffers. Not saying that they would be, you know, the best in the league or anything, but we really need to get Malachi Corley some touches. I think he's the king of yak, as he has proclaimed himself to be. And that's not something that you really see a lot of in practice, since they're not hitting each other and breaking tackles and all of that. But now with Davante on the roster, Mike Williams being possibly out with a head injury, Garrett Wilson, they're going to be eating up a lot of the attention of defenses. And if we can get him moving pre-snap and get the ball in space in his hands, that could be a new weapon that we could utilize to start winning some games. But just to kind of wrap it up here, my mindset moving forward is I don't care what the games look like. Win the game. There's no excuse to lose any moving forward. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to go undefeated, but the Steelers is a winnable game. The Patriots is a winnable game. You look at the schedule, there's not a single team that we can't beat.
No,
I mean,
but they could lose to anyone too. That's the problem.
That's true. Yeah. And so one game at a time, win it. Ulbrich said all the right things in the press conference. Now it's time to put up or shut up. And that's pretty much all I got for you.
Good call, Cheese Man. Appreciate you. Now look, win Sunday and we could talk. Come join us at the watch party on Sunday, folks. RSVP if you're coming out. It's going to be a blast. The Mets will be on a bunch of TVs too. During every Jet commercial break, we will have the sound on for the Mets. Game 6 of the NLCS is that night, if necessary, which I believe it will be. You just win on Sunday night, man. That's it. Daniel Beware is next. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
How are the chickens in Mexico, Daniel?
Well, they are pretty pissed off because the Jets lose. So they are pretty angry. They're fighting to each other, trying to conquer the chickens. But here we are, man. Another week of suffering because I am a Jets fan. And it's a shame that my Roosters have to root for this team too. But anyways, man, I think that we see an improvement on the offense. Todd Downing was doing a good job on making this offense with motions. I think that kind of offense helps a lot to Aaron Rodgers to read the defense. And I like to see Ulbrich really holding accountable the players. Yesterday, Kinlaw was a dump and an asshole. Also, Clemens, like, if you really want to put some respect on your coach, you need to sit down and don't play anymore until you get to learn how to play and be a disciplined player, because they're really hurting the team. And it goes the same for Tyron Smith. The the penalty that they have, because the holding, I mean, he's an experienced player. As you said, he was a pro bowler the past year. So, man, I can understand that. We were watching the game. My dad is always rooting for the Jets whenever he sees them play. But this time he just turn around because we have so many penalty calls on our favor that it wasn't really a penalty for us. But it seems like the refs trying to do something for the team so they can give us the chance to win. But man, I mean, where's the leg of Greg, man? I mean, he was one of the most reliable guys on our team, and he just happens to to do not make the field goals on the 35, I think, and then 22. If we want to be a contender team, we have to either get another kicker or just put some pressure on Greg, because the special team and the kickers are a very important point in the game. I can recall the AFC Championship game. Patriots were against the Raiders with the two crow stuff, but Vinatieri make the kick through the winds and
Yeah, I mean,
snow,
Daniel.
and
Yeah, 100%, man. We don't need to relive Adam Vinatieri's greatness. Guy's a first ballot Hall of Fame kicker. Greg Zuerlein has been great the last 2 years. He now all of a sudden has been brutal this year. Only the Jets this happens to. Last year, they won games because of Greg Zuerlein. People are like, how'd they win 7 games with how bad the quarterback play was? Because Greg Zuerlein didn't miss. How many game-winning kicks does this guy have the last 2 years with this team? I mean, seriously. That's the problem. Zuerlein last year was 35 of 38 with kicks. He hit 6 from 50-plus yards last year. 13 between 40 and 49. He made 15 of 16 extra points. The year before that, he made 28 of 29 extra points. Now he can't kick. Rando writes in, Jake, this screams desperate and it's embarrassing. Makes me cringe. I know he's good, but we weren't supposed to need him. Look, the Jets got a lot of problems. If adding a star wide receiver who's got chemistry with your Hall of Fame quarterback makes you cringe, I don't know what to tell you. They got Davante Adams for a 3rd-round pick. It's the right move, regardless of what happened last night. It's not desperate. They were trying to make this deal before last night. It's the right move. I'm just not going to sit here and be like, great, awesome. Beat Pittsburgh, and I'll get excited about the possibility of this team still having a season. Indomitable's next. Hello, Indomable.
Jake, I'm not even going to ask you, how are you today, man? Let me tell you a couple of quick points real quick here. Getting Davante is the right move. Great. The only thing that on the aesthetics, with all this turmoil, it's not as impactful as it would have been 2 weeks ago, but it's the right move. Second thing, I usually don't like pointing out players, but they say that big-time players should make big-time plays. Charles Woodson, in his career, he had 33 forced fumbles, 18 fumble recoveries, and 20 sacks. We're not asking Sauce to have 5 interceptions per game, but at least we need to find ways to put him in position to make at least some disruption. You know, like I think the last sack he has in his career was against Teddy Bridgewater back a couple of years ago. So Quinnen the same. I mean, Quinnen is playing like Mike DeVito right now, and we pay him Aaron Donald money. And the double team argument is asinine because you see Dexter Lawrence being double team all the time. And remember, Chris Jenkins was a perennial Pro Bowler and all pro and with the Panthers and with us. And that guy, I saw him get triple team at one point. So make big time plays if you're a big time player. And lastly, before I take off, I read yesterday on Twitter that it's better to lose by 20 on Sunday at 1 p.m. than lose by 3 on Monday at 8 p.m. Something like that, you know. And the most frustrating thing about last night's loss is that it's just the details, man. It's like we're not getting blown out or anything like that. It's just little details. And I think this team just needs to learn how to win. And I don't know if you recall that day after the Broncos loss, I called in on that Monday. I don't remember who was the guest, but I told you that worst case scenario, we're going to go into the Patriots and be 3-4. You know, after that, we got the Texans, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Dolphins, and Jaguars. So worst case scenario, we're going to be 8-6, 7-7 going to that last stretch. I mean, the AFC is bad, man, this year. So 9-8, I think that there might be a team this year that is going to squeeze in, you know, into the playoffs at 9-8, and that might be us, Jake. All right, so let's stay positive. I got the tickets. I'll be there at T-Square Social. Looking to meet you, Jake. Been listening to you since you were in Houston, eating that Cane's and that Chipotle. See you Sunday, man, and let's keep the hopes up, man. Let's stay positive and let's go win Sunday, and then we'll be 3-4 heading into the Patriots. Have a good day.
Hey, sign me up for that, and we'll look forward to meeting you. Okay. If they win on Sunday, there is a path for a season. But I don't even want to think about anything besides winning Sunday. That's it. It's hard to be positive after that game last night. It just is. AD83 and then Rob, our next two callers. What's up, AD? Unmute your mic, my friend.
What's up, Jake?
Yo, yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so basically, I was at my mother-in-law's house last night with a bunch of Chiefs fans watching the game. And
to be clear, you're not talking about the Chiefs fan who calls into this show. You're talking about other Chiefs fans.
Chiefs fans, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
My wife is actually a Chiefs fan. I married into a Chiefs family, so that was partially my choice. So I can only blame myself for that. But I'm over there with a bunch of Chiefs fans watching the game, and I had no words at a certain point, especially on that last play with Josh Allen and Michael Clemens. Like we've been over this. The chat has been over it. We've been over it several times on the show so far. I don't need to reiterate the point, but I do. Get this fool off the field, man. Somebody take care of this. And when you have Fialco on later, you said Fialco's on later today, right? When you have him on later today, can you guys please go over these run fits and why there's these huge gaps in the line, and we don't have the players with big enough bodies or the strength to either fill those gaps in time or push someone into those gaps and just make a mess. It's like you said, Quinnen. I don't know what's up with Quinnen this year. He's got a little less juice. I don't know what's up with Brees this year. He's got a little less juice too. There's something just off about this team right now, and I can't put my finger on it. I know everybody's trying to put their finger on it right now, but the coaching change, obviously, it wasn't that big of a factor. I don't think, honestly, but because Robert Saleh and Ulbrich, they're hand in hand. They're tied at the hip. If we don't think they're getting some type of communication and co-coaching going back and forth, I think we're all kind of fooling ourselves. But the offense is encouraging. It is encouraging to see that we got Davante. But again, this defense is it's been my one worry throughout the offseason. It's like Neil's been saying and I've been saying for the longest time. We need fatties. We need some fatties up on that line. We need some bodies that can really push people. If we can't get people that can push people or fill those spaces, then we need to play a different defense or something. I know they can't do that necessarily now, but there's got to be some changes that are made that are major, because all these little things stack up and they cause these major losses like we just experienced last night. So I don't know what to do from here. Like I wish I could leave, but I can't. My grandfather actually played for the Titans, the New York Titans. So that's like, I think he's done rolled up out of his grave at this point by now, years ago. But it's just, I just can't help but stay loyal. Like you said, I'll be there Sunday. But at this point, we need to see Clemens off the field. We need to see.
You're going to Pittsburgh, AD?
What's that?
You're going to Pittsburgh?
No. I'll actually be at Arizona next month. Me and my wife will be in Arizona next month. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Arizona doesn't look too hot right now, but they're a hot and cold team. Like Kyler Murray can go off anytime. So that should be an interesting matchup. But I'll focus on Pittsburgh for now, what we can do next week. Because if we don't see this defensive line do something different as far as a scheme or something, that we need to have serious concerns, because that's going to be our Achilles heel.
Yeah, AD, they got to win. I mean, that's it. I don't care how they do it. Win and keep the season alive. The defense is not as good this year because the depth of the defensive line is not as good. They're doing the best they can. Wow, Rodgers is on McAfee right now. He's at the Jet facility. Is Davante with him? Oh, wow. This unreal. More of your calls right now. Hello, Rob.
It's like been heart attack city. I mean, I slept like crap. I mean, like chest pains of anxiety, Jake. At times you think it's a fucking heart attack. But you look at this team and let's be honest, we should be 5-1. A well-disciplined coach team that doesn't make silly penalties after silly penalties. A D-line that's not been playing well. An offensive line that right now nobody's addressed the elephant in the room. Keith Carter should have been fired, and they should have promoted one of the other defensive line coaches there, anyone, because this guy Keith Carter's awful. I realized that we ran for 100 yards with Brees, but Keith Carter's a problem. He is a big problem. Now, I see Allen, and I'm in agreement with Allen. I hate to say it, I'm in agreement with a lot of things that knucklehead's saying. JD pulls.
Wow, Davante is with him right now on the McAfee show. Rodgers is giddy.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean,
wow, this is unreal right now. This team, I can't believe Davante is in the building with Rodgers on live TV right now. This is unreal. Hold on, let me listen to this, Rob. You continue.
You want to listen first? We'll listen first.
No one can hear it. I'm just. He says he'll be ready to roll. They got me back right. I guess his hamstring is magically healed. Good. Let's go. All right. They better win on Sunday, man. I want to believe. I love seeing this, but it's just like if Greg Zuerlein could hit a kick, we'd be giddy right now watching this.
If he could hit 2 kicks, we would have won the Denver game too, right?
Oh my God, this is wild, bro. Davante Adams is literally on TV with Aaron Rodgers on the McAfee show right now. This is unbelievable.
Jake, we should be 5-1. I'm telling you, 5-1.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, they should be. They. I'll say 4-2. Right? I think that's fair.
5-1. I disagree.
Fine. That's fine. They suck, man. We should be enjoying this. Davante's gonna walk away right now. Wonderful. Brutal. Rob, you got another point? Go ahead.
Yeah. You cut me off. Jake, and then I was saying, like, I see Allen's point in the sense of what I call it, the discipline and the O-line and the both O-lines having an issue. And then you have JJ, who's so optimistic all of a sudden, which he was the only one who was alleviating my chest pains. I could not believe the stuff that he was saying. But you know what? A lot of the things that JJ says, he's not wrong. We were in these games to win.
Yeah, obviously. Rob, but they got to win the games. They're 2-4. They should be better than that. They're facing a must-win on Sunday. Go win the game, and we'll talk about this thing going on a run after that. That's it.
I'm just not totally confident that at the end of the year next year that Brick is going to be our coach. I really not confident with this guy.
The odds are he won't be the coach. The odds are he won't be.
This is what I'm holding up, Jake. You see this right here? I don't know if you can see it.
A jet pin?
Yeah, this snowball gave to me. I lost it, and then I found it in this coat. And I'm just trying to manifest good luck with this. And we're going to win in Pittsburgh. And then we're going to win in against New England. And if we're 4-4, we can take off again, Jake. We can take off again.
The goal should be to get this. Yeah, God bless. The goal should be to get the 6-5 by the bye. That's the goal. Jeff A says Jets don't need a wide receiver. Actually, they do. Did you watch Mike Williams last night? Please.
How'd you like to play some football? Football. Yeah, would you like that? Report to the practice field tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
They do need a wide receiver. Davante doesn't fix everything, but I'm also as pissed and angry as I am about last night. I'm not going to pretend like adding Davante Adams does not make this team better. It obviously does. Allen Lazard leads the NFL in touchdown receptions right now. He was unplayable last year. So you don't think adding Davante Adams, who has one of the greatest repertoires with a Hall of Fame quarterback we've seen, is not going to help this team? Of course it is. It just might be too little too late because you're facing a must-win on Sunday. This is all on Aaron now. Let's go, man. He did his job last night. Now can they help him? Let's go. Lead this team. Andrew says, Jake, we need a new owner. Woody's the problem to the Jets. We've been a joke in the NFL. I mean, I will repeat what I've said about Woody for a while. You cannot fire the owners. And I'll say this again. And by the way, I have cut off the call and link. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. But this is over 3 hours. I got shit to do today, and I'm doing another show in less than 2 hours. So we got a rapid fire here. But I will repeat this line about Woody Johnson I said last night. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. James Dolan didn't just magically become a better owner. You know what he did? He hired the right people, and he stayed out of the way. That's why Woody Johnson's perceived to be a bad owner. They haven't had the right people. James Dolan's not this great owner, but the Knicks have the 4th highest odds to win an NBA championship right now. Why do you think that is? Because Leon Rose is really good at his job. Tom Thibodeau is really good at his. And you get a little luck along the way. The Knicks didn't know Jalen Brunson was going to be this good. They didn't. They thought he'd be good. They didn't know he'd be a top 5 player in basketball. You need some luck along the way. Sal is up next. Hey, Sal.
Hey, Jake. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you, Sal. What do you got for us?
Hey, bro, just real quick. Wanted to hop on here, say thanks for giving us free weekly therapy, dude. It is tough.
Appreciate it.
It is tough. It's been a long 14 years. So many ups, but also way more downs, you know. It feels like we're always one piece off. You have an elite defense and elite special teams last year, and Aaron Rodgers goes down with an Achilles tear, you know, four plays in. This year, he's finally playing, and Greg Zuerlein can't kick a field goal to save his life. So it's like, I mean, hey, we're excited about the the Davante Adams news, obviously, but it kind of sucks that we can't enjoy it coming off of a win. I got the news this morning, and I'm just like, we do everything except win. So hey, look forward to Sunday night. Thank you for having me on, and go Jets.
Sal, great call. Yeah, if they won yesterday and we're getting Davante with Rodgers on McAfee right now together, I mean, I would need to call a doctor. All right. Because something would be lasting way longer than 4 hours. Big Game James is next. Hello, James.
Jake, my man, first order of business, I need you to hang in there because you looked as broken as as we did to Sam Darnold a couple years ago. You got to hang in there, buddy. You're the man of the people.
I am broken. You know, I'm a Jet fan. I am broken.
I feel your pain, man. I was so, excuse my expression, I'm going to keep it clean, freaking disgusted last night because clearly, and also me being a football coach for a high school team, I'm looking at freaking Clemens. He went inside like you're supposed to contain everyone in their freaking mother. Even Rob Sala on the couch knew that ball on third down was going to go to freaking Allen. Why do you not contain and stay outside and set the freaking edge? Like, Clemens, I don't want you to be on my football field anymore for the defensive line of the Jets. But anyway, hang in there, buddy. It's going to get better. I'm glad we got Davante Adams, but again, at what cost as well? It's just a crap show.
Yeah,
and
the cost of the third-round pick, which, fine. It's just, if you just win one of these last games, you're 500 and you're like, it's just, the whole outlook's different. I'll say this, though. Last year, we killed the Jets for not getting a backup, basically punting on the season. They're 2-4. They're a game worse than where they were at this point last year. And, they're still going for it, which I respect. It's just, now they got to win on Sunday. There's no excuse. They're a better team than Pittsburgh. Win the game.
Yeah, we have to. And like I said, I'm really on this wagon about Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil. Like, even during my training session this morning, my clients was like, James, you're spiraling, because I was talking about the Jets game. I'm like, yeah, I'm spiraling because no matter what we do, something else kicks us in the nards. And like Greg Zerline, who freaking kicked clutch for us the past 2 seasons, thought he was a cowboy and choked. Like, how is this happening? Fix it. Fix it. I just don't know how this happens to us. It's the same old Jets, just a different season. Don't know how it's happening, man. But Jake, thank you for taking my call. Hang in there, buddy, and go Jets on the Steelers. Cause I'm probably gonna watch it like an idiot.
We're all gonna be watching, man. I'm reading a quote from Rodgers. It's on us now. We're going all in. Davante confirmed he'll play against the Steelers. This team, man. I just hold on. We got. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. BB writes in, Bo Nix is better than Aaron Rodgers. Garrett Wilson's a bust. Bo Nix better than Aaron Rodgers, huh? BB. Thank you for watching the show, but this will be the final ever time you tune into the show. Goodbye.
Into the shadow realm you go.
Aaron Rodgers being voted the most inspirational Jet by his teammates is legit one of the saddest things I've ever heard.
See ya. All right, one last call, and then we'll wrap, and I'm back in like an hour because we just don't stop.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy.
Does the earpiece sound good? I sound all right?
You sound better than the Jets played, so yes.
It's a sad day. Well, I mean, we got Davante, so that gave us a boost. But I'm just I still can't get over that we started the game off and we let them run the ball 8 out of 9 times and didn't pass it and scored a touchdown. Our run defense is atrocious. I know we're injured. DJ Reed went out. Michael Carter wasn't playing. Chuck Clark left. Ashton Davis can't tackle. Nobody could really tackle. How many times do we touch people in the backfield and we don't get them down? We never get sacks. We almost get half sacks and they break out of them. Sherwood's playing with a club on his hand. He can't rap. I mean, I just why if this was Salah's scheme that Ulbrich was running, and now Ulbrich wants to put a little spice on his own thing. When can we name a game where we got beat deep for like a 50 or 60, 70-yard touchdown and one-on-one that we just got beat deep? Like, stop worrying about the giving up the big play and just fucking run blitz. Everybody, it's like, yo, they're running the ball up our throats and we just keep letting them do it. We just stick to the same defense. We don't try to change nothing. We don't blitz and like even yesterday, we need to stop, right? It's 1st and 10. We need to stop or the game's over. And they get 5 yards on a run. Like, they're running the ball. Just blitz. Dare them to do play action. Let someone be one-on-one deep. Like, just stop the run. You can do it by just stacking the box, I can't watch Ruckert miss any more blocks. It's disgusting. I know Tyron's getting a lot of heat. I still don't know what's going on with him. And the worst thing is this year was supposed to happen last year. This year of us of learning, getting on Rodgers' page, not running down the red line, doing shit like that. That's all things that we would have learned last year at the beginning, and this year we would have started off on flying colors. And now we're going through it, and that's why you have to bring in a guy like Davante, because if we have Davante last night, we win this game easily. Someone on the same page as Rodgers besides Lazard. I mean, Garrett had a fantastic game, but I just, seeing Rodgers keep rolling his eyes and getting frustrated because people aren't on the same page, it hurts, man. And, I'm just disgusted with the defense. I'm sick of not being able to stop the run. We're so lucky that they only scored 3 points in the second half, because they had 20 at half, and I thought it was going to be we are a second half team. We always adjust well, which has always been something that we've done for the past couple of years. But
yeah, they held them to 3 points in the second half. They should have won. There's no excuse. They went 1 for 4 in the red zone. They had a touchdown wiped away by a penalty, and they missed 2 kicks. Like they were better than the team that's going to probably end up winning the division last night, and they have nothing to show for it. It sucks.
It's disgusting, man. You're not supposed to lose games like that. Rodgers said it himself. We should have put up 30 points. God, but I swear, if I see another missed block by our tight ends, I can't believe what happened to Ruckert. We've always been, he was supposed to be a good blocker. We know Conklin's a finesse, but we can't be whiffing blocks that bad. And I still can't get over how bad our run defense is. I understand we don't have the fatties, but sometimes you can scheme to stop the run and just dare them to do something else. And, I won't even talk about Michael Clemens on that last play, because Jesus Christ, everyone in America, every Jet fan sitting at home knew that Josh Allen was not getting that ball out of his hands and he was running. I literally said it to my brother, like, yo, watch the sneak. They're either going to do like a play, a read, and he's going to run. He's running this ball. And sure as shit, it happened. But, as a fan, we can all take either side. You could either have calls like JJ or you can have calls like Allen. Depends how you want to look at it. You can look at it 2 ways. Right now, we just got Davante, another person to add to the being on the exact same page like Lazard. Lazard we had a Hail Mary touchdown, and we still lose the fucking game. If that's not Jets, I don't know what is. I mean, but hey, we got Davante. It's a must-win in Pittsburgh. And I don't know. I hope that they do start Russell so that the practice week, I hope they announce it so then we could start getting, because I don't want to go against Justin Fields and then bring in Russell. So it's kind of like you're playing that, because there's 2 completely different schemes you're going to have to play against between those 2 quarterbacks. Justin Fields can't even really throw the ball well. He's reading and running. So, but they are going to run all over us if we don't change it up. So we bet, because that's all they do. It's Arthur Smith. They're going to run. Najee Harris, Warren, they're going to pound it. So we better be fucking ready to stop the run. That's all I'm going to say. JETS.
Amen. Just win the game, man. They're better than the Steelers. Win the game. The schedule is not that hard. Just win, man. This team is going to have Davante Adams in the lineup on Sunday night with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall coming off their best games of the year. Go win the game. Figure it out. I don't care if it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Go win the game. Dre says, Allen sucks. JJ must be losing his mind. Mr. Bonesy, save our season. I love most of you. Let's stay positive because Bonesy looks defeated. Can we hit a kick this week? Steven would have 2 more wins if they had competent field goal kicking. Michael says, Davante will help for sure, but I don't like the trade unless we win the Super Bowl. That's stupid. Do we look like champs? I mean, so the only way you like the deal is if they win the Super Bowl? That is an asinine comment, Michael. They gave up a 3rd-round pick for a top 10 receiver in the sport. Please. They're trying to win. They're all in. You realize what the vibes would be right now if they won last night and Davante Adams is a Jet? If they could hit a field goal kick, excuse me, that's what we would be talking about. If Tyron Smith didn't commit a brutal holding penalty and negated a touchdown, and then they got nothing on the possession because Zerline missed. Just brutal. Oh, I hate rooting for this team, man. Love this fan base. Thank you to all who have tuned in. 3.5-hour stream. Second Tuesday in a row we've done a show like this. I'm back at 3:15. Fialco's joining us for a film review, and we'll talk about what Rodgers is saying now about Davante, too. Hang in there, Jet fans. Hang in there. All the love. Thanks to Joe B, who joined us for the first hour. Reminder, this show's available in podcast form on either Apple or Spotify. If you want to support me, the best way to do so is to be a part of our Patreon community. Get access to the Discord when you join the Patreon, discounts in the merch store, bonus shows. Gave you 3 bonus shows this past week. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Check it out if you haven't done so. RSVP to the watch party. See you guys on Sunday for that. Davante Adams' debut as a Jet. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Go Jets.
Let's get it, boys. Let's get it, boys. Let's go! Let's go!